Yo, yo, yo. Check 1, 2. Yo, yo, yo. Check 1, 2. I forgot how to do this. I haven't gone live in a while, so I just forgot how to do a live show. Well, we are not alone. There's one person watching. Let's hit the intro. Have some Friday festivities. Here we go.
Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom!
I fixed it.
I fixed it! Yay! I have my computer. I had the Discord muted and deafened. So my sound comes through the flip-flop account. There you go. Now we're on. Now I can do the squeaky earth. I don't know how solid it's gonna sound. Now, if I shut up, will you able to hear the squeaky earth? Come on, don't deafen, man. YouTube, do you hear that when I am quiet? I'm gonna do it one more time. Do you hear the squeaky earth, or did it just go quiet? You tell me. I've been sick like a dog last few days. Come on, why did you mute, bro? Don't you like the squeaky earth? Do you really mute it because of that? Because of the squeaky? It's a beautiful sound.
Tough on headphones.
Sean Hawking, does anyone here play DayZ? No, I don't know what DayZ is. I don't play video games. So we got over here Steve Rorino in the Discord. We are in Discord server. If anybody would like to join to the Discord server daily, boom, join us now. And we have in the chat box Martin, Mr. Victory's Radio, RT96, Debate Night, Fred Bailey, Brian Mabbit, Patio Furniture, and this is us right here. It goes out briefly because of the gain setting. I know, man. Now, if I check 1, 2, check 1, 2. I'm gonna do squeaky earth alert again, Steve. Hey, here I go. You see, it cuts and come back in. Unless I continuously talk, then you'll be able to hear squeaky earth. It's all right. So, how's everybody doing in YouTube land? Big shout out to Mr. Victory, man. Thank you for sharing the show. I'm gonna share it one more time because you have a list of people that is gonna see that notification, and I also do. So I'm gonna throw another link in YouTube land. 16 people watching. I appreciate you all being here. I encourage everybody to please hit the like button on YouTube and make sure that you are subscribed in order for you to be able to type in YouTube land. If you are new, you never type, or you're just subscribed, make sure to type something in the YouTube chat box so I can give you a range. This is the All Blue Lounge on YouTube land. And if you guys can support, which I appreciate guys. Every time I go live, I get a little bit of support, but I need a push. I need your help, big time. So if anybody can support me, there's a PayPal link. Is the only way. This is still a baby channel with under 500 subscribers. So there's no super chats, none of that stuff yet. 500 subscribers and 2,000 views. I am halfway. All I need is 500 more subscribers and 2,000 more watch time. But if I don't do the show, how is I'm going to accumulate watch time hours? Well, I'm sorry, guys. I had visit the past few weeks, and yesterday was a horrible day. I woke up, bro, and everything was spinning around like the world was going just to one side. And I closed my eyes, I tried to sit down, and woo, bro, it was really bad, like a vertigo type of thing, like if I was really drunk on something, like I couldn't focus. I was just stumbling, and I was in bed pretty much all day yesterday. Horrible. Late in the afternoon, like at 7 or 8 p.m., I was able to stand up kind of straight, not swearing. Don't that word is forbidden in the uncensored Steeper, I didn't test for that, but it was just a weird dizziness that I got out of nowhere yesterday. I woke up with that, and I didn't test for anything. I never tested myself for anything, and I won't. Now, if I would wake up today again like that, then I would have been worried. But I didn't. I think might have been some kind of food poisoning, maybe. I ate some weird sausages that I had in the freezer for I don't know, and I still haven't gone to the bathroom, bro. I didn't go to the bathroom all day yesterday or today yet, so I know when I release all that, I'm gonna feel a lot better, for you. Man, I feel good. I don't have any. I don't have anything like sinus. I don't have anything in the throat. I don't have fevers. I don't have shivers. I don't got anything. Just that dizziness, vertigo, bullshit going on. Like weird, the weirdest thing ever. I clean my ears. I check like, did I get an insect in my ears and it's fucking up with my like balance levels inside my brain? I don't know, man. Uh, yeah, that's what I thought. Some kind of ear, but I feel good. I woke up good today, decent. I feel strong. So I don't know. It was just a fluke. But I'm gonna keep monitoring myself. I know my body. I know how I should feel. I know how I feel, and I feel good. I'm covering myself up. It's a little chilly over here in Florida, so I don't want to take a chance and get to get the cold, because that can fuck me up. But I feel great. I don't know how is the weather. How is the weather, Largo, Florida? It should be like in mid-second. It's 65 degrees Fahrenheit. 65 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. So it is chilly compared to Florida weather, which is usually by this time 70, 75-ish, which is not that hot. So 65, I don't want to take any chances and get like cold chest and all that kind of shit. Kill for 65. 65 what? 65 degrees. What is your temperature over there, Steve? Oh, you're muted. Too much time spent listening to flat earth bullshit. That is not a cause because I haven't listened to a lot of flat earth bullshit. I barely listen to any content on flat earth. Uh MC Toon, I listened a little bit on Tuesday. Something I was like 10 or 15 minutes in the chat box. A few days ago I listened a little bit to Bev, which is like so annoying when I hear the voice. But I listen a little bit to Troll in the background. Tusk, what's up? And shout out to Alk and Tusk. Tusk, hello, you are new. Tusk says, I suffer from vertigo, and what you describe sounds exactly like my symptoms. See a doctor, it can be pretty serious if left unchecked. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And then I cannot, like right now today, I'm not taking any chances of stand up really quick or like look to the side really quick, because if I look to the side, like woo, like my eyesight like reaches up late and it like woo, it start getting blurry and like going on around, like the dizziness, bro. I try to stand up and I feel like woof, like everything goes to the side and I feel my eyes turn, like tend to turn to one side, try to follow everything around me, and I feel like whoa. Everything turning but me, man. Fucking strange. Uh, if anybody would like to join us in the anybody would like to join us in Discord server, I'll share a link in a second, and you all can be heard. Bring a fun topic. Bring a fun topic to the table. Share any links that you think we can play over here without copyright issues and stuff like that, and we can play little clips and stuff. Okay, so join. I had issues sharing. Audio from a video on Google Meets, but I haven't tried over here on. I haven't tried here. I'm gonna try sharing anything recorded, so to see if. Dude, hey Tusk, I still hear that a little bit. It's like a cricket, like a long ring cricket. High-pitched cricket. Yesterday was really loud on my ears. Today I hear it a little bit. A high pitch. Like if I was in the woods and those crickets chirping in my ears, but like, and then I take, I don't know, man, very strange high pitch ring in my ears. So what do you think, Tux? What do you think I got, man? Vertigo proves that I cannot trust my senses. Okay. I just want to try and share something to see if you guys can hear it. Okay. Jose. Okay, let me play something and try to share it. And you guys tell me you can hear the audio. Okay, I'm gonna share something on Discord, and I gotta stand up and click on the share over there. Let me kill my video camera. I'm gonna share this right here. Just need to see if you guys can hear this. And Steve, please, if you can click on my screen share just to test and see if you guys can hear this. I would really appreciate it. I'm gonna click play here and tell me if you can hear this. I'll be back in a second.
Shit.
But the known elevations on both sides and the assumption that water may be near level is what we're working with.
Right, so the issue here with that hypothesis that you've just put forward, or that specification for the experiment,
They're
is
just
as,
reference points.
is it,
I'm gonna pause.
is as
I
follows.
wouldn't go so.
All right. Can that be heard on YouTube land? I'm gonna wait like a minute till you receive this message. 30 seconds. I gotta wait. And you tell me if you can hear that or no. Just because I had issues sharing audio on a recorded video on Google Meets, and over here I don't know if that's if you can hear that or not or what. Yes, sound is good. All right, good. All right, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play, I don't know if we already seen this video. If not, I'll find another one. But for now, I'm going to make sure that this is not one that I uploaded. If it is, I'll switch it. I got a few recorded after shows, old ones. But if any of you joins, just holler at me and we'll stop the video and we'll talk live here among ourselves. Just want to have something in the background so I can rest my brain a little bit. Let me see if this is one that I have played before.
So far, you know,
The problem,
no elevation over.
You know, it's
than the moon.
Another scan.
I've got him on scan.
level.
With all these tests.
Action that I had with. Hey, that was.
I don't know. I think that we have.
Dan, I think you were sitting in.
I think
on
we
the
have already
YouTube
heard
when
this one.
Cody waited in.
Let me check another one. Let me see this one.
Perceived.
Let me go.
So you get the three pictures in the
This
formula
is
up in the right hand,
Glim.
stuck in the hand
This one's 500.
in chapter 1.
You guys have checked.
You guys want
So
to hear
maybe a
Glim?
and make
The objects are.
I don't like
I
it.
know.
individual waves
Hey,
out there. And it looks
Glim
like there's no
and
waves
Brian
around.
Leake is in
And,
that video. Let me check. I got another one. This one. Share a quick 1 minute video that I got here, and then the floor will be.
It's meaningless.
We go about collecting that data.
Okay, Lael, I'm not talking to you anymore, okay?
Oh.
I have a low.
We
Lael
want him to collect that
and
data.
That
This is Lael and the plain shit. I mean, the plain truth. John Hawkins' favorite character. John Hawkins, this is for you. I'm gonna play this a little bit. You got the plain truth, and I don't know who else. And this was recorded. We got a date in here. Look, May 11 of 2020. We're gonna play this. Here we go.
His responsibility, Lael.
But you're the one asking for the data. How would he go about collecting that data?
Okay, Lael, I'm not talking to you anymore, okay? Have fun.
Because you refuse to, because you know you all use your own logic against you. Why aren't you using the same scrutiny on your observations as you require spherical to do it on there?
Lael, I have one question for you.
Nope, answer that question. Answer that question.
Nope.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, all he does is answer questions with questions. So, I mean, what do you expect?
Okay,
a real answer?
no. Okay, listen. When you're having a conversation with someone and someone asks you a question that you have
like I just did to you, and you reject it and ask me a question.
Let me know when you're not going to interrupt me. Okay.
Answer my question, and I'll quit interrupting you.
No, I'm talking to No Name now. Can I talk to No Name quick? Okay.
Answer my question.
I would like before you do address me, Travis, I would like you to answer Lael's question.
Okay, Lael, I've already answered your question today in this call.
You have not answered the question one time. Why don't you use the same scrutiny on your
I'm done. Thanks. Bye.
Lael, I can answer because I've heard it. Travis said it several times. He's not making a claim. George is. He wants the data to George's claim so we can see if it's right or not. And you interrupted me.
Wait, he did make a claim. He does make a claim. He claims it's the ether. I want observational data proving that it's the ether.
Well, you can demand that of him. If that's what it is, you
Lael.
He's doing
right. Lael. I have made these claims. I have made these claims over and over and over.
Yeah, you never provided the data over and over.
And you interrupted him again.
Yeah, I know, right? Right. Lael, the 45 RPM man in a 33 RPM world, okay? Listen very closely, please. The claim that I am making does not require the data that you guys demanded.
Why?
Yes.
Why
and you interrupted him again.
Yeah, that's just an assertion, pal.
All right, guys. Here, I'll settle this one. Hey, I'll settle this once and for all. You give me which update you're talking about, and I'll go find your comment with the timestamp. And then when I get back to my office in Minnesota, I will go into my notes and data for that particular day, and I will give you all the temperature data along the optical corridor and the humidity and the barometric pressure for that particular day.
But then you also, on the other hand, have to provide George the same information.
I don't have to do squat for you, Lael. I don't have to do squat for you, Lael.
George doesn't have to do squat for you, but he is.
Lael, shush.
George is doing stuff for you that you require. Why shouldn't he require the same for you?
Okay, is George making the requirement, or are you, Lael?
No, you made the requirement of George.
Oh my God.
Why should he not request the same information from your observations?
Okay, great question. That's a great question. Why don't you ask George? George, just put your email in the chat for me, please, and I'll contact you, okay?
George, will you please require the same thing of him that he's
required? My goodness.
We've all had the same argument with Travis a million times. It's not going to change anything. He says that his claim does not require the data. We say he does. It's never going to change.
George, can you make your claim that your claim doesn't need to make the data, so you don't have to share the data with Travis?
No, I'll share it with everybody. If for any given particular day, I'll post the data. I'm going to give my email here. Hang on.
Good job.
No, let George contrast real science with pseudoscience and let everybody see the difference.
Exactly.
That's like comparing someone who's writing fiction with someone who's writing poetry. They're both writing literature. Okay, so poetry is not pseudo literature. Fiction is not pseudo literature. Okay, stop talking, Leo.
Wow,
Leo,
what a
can't
terrible
you-
analogy.
Why
Yeah,
can't
real
you
apt
not
metaphor.
talk?
Hey, can we go back to one person talking at a time?
Travis, what it would be
Seriously.
is like somebody writing a technical manual and somebody writing fiction. That's the difference between science and pseudo.
Okay, great. Yeah, back up your claim. Go
Why are
ahead.
you, Travis? Because you're not writing anything.
Travis, I mean, no name and Lale. Can y'all post any observations or experiments that y'all have done?
Yeah, I can't. Well, I can't post it.
Dr. Bro in the house, Dr. Bab. I'm in a recording until we get a guest, but you are the special guest today. How you doing?
Oh, I'm just doing great. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you. Good to have you here. We are back from a few days leave. I was on a leave of absence, hanging out with the family and taking care of myself. I was a little bit under the weather.
You feeling a little better now?
Yeah, a lot better. Yeah.
I've got a little bit of news.
Yeah. What?
How do you like my new look?
Let me see. People on YouTube cannot see you, but we will see you now. Hold on, one second. We got a new look. There you go. You're up. The one-eyed man. What's going on there? Arr. That's funny.
Got a little issue with my eye, probably going to last about 6 months, so I'm going to be the one-eyed pirate of flat Earth right now for a while.
Where you got that patch from, man? You need it, or you just got it for fun?
No, unfortunately, I need it. I have something called vitreous detachment.
Oh, shit.
And I've got a floater in my eye the size of Shea Stadium, so every time I drive, it looks like a damn deer's jumping out at me. So
no.
I'm wearing this thing here so that the lights don't bother me and I can see a little better.
Will it take a extra care? Like, do you need to go to anesthesia or fix it up, like detailed by doctor, or just covering it up with some kind of drops and stuff will fix itself?
No, I just got to wait about 6 months for everything to settle in the eye and all the shit to get out of the vitreous there, and I'll be able to see again.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, what you been up to, my man?
Been all right, man. So I say I had family visiting from Puerto Rico, and now the 20th, my mom and dad are gonna come in for a few weeks too, and I'm looking forward for that. Excited to see them.
So you just playing a video today?
Playing a video for now, yeah. I came in live. I said, yeah, Steve Brorino, he was here, but he's just listening. I said, yeah, I don't want to like talk to myself and to the audience. I just want to play a video in the background while waiting for this moment for you or anybody else to come in and kick off a live discussion. I didn't feel like pulling an Arwin today, like randomly making noises to the audience.
Well, there you go. Did you see Florspective? You see Ranty and his little expose on Nathan Oakley the other day?
I saw post. He posted. I haven't seen the video yet, but I see
It goes into his background and how he got into the flat Earth. Very interesting background on the gentleman. I think I'm going to have a look at it. I've gotten permission to use it. So that's probably going to be my video for Monday. I'm going to have a few select comments going over Oakley and his little crew.
Nice.
From the aspect of, just looking at the psychology, the conspiracy that they're promoting.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I see an upload that Simon Dan uploaded. I don't know if it's the same he shared, but I saw a Ranty like in the thumbnail. Something that Simon Dan uploaded, but I haven't seen the video yet.
Yeah, I think I saw him do something as well. But I haven't seen it yet myself. I'll probably have a look at it, and then I'll try and do something a little bit different for Monday. But it's kind of interesting. I've been playing around with QE.
I watched that this morning.
It was pretty good.
I watched that this morning. It was Randy's video.
That's very cool. Very cool. Yep. So people should be subscribed to Perspective Simon Dan, and they can see the content in there. And make sure that you subscribe to Bob if he's gonna break it down and get his interpretation and his twist on it. So that's always good. You see that when somebody just grab a video and just break it down and analyze it like that, how is that called? It's not necessarily debunking, just analyzing it, right? Pretty much.
It's just a review.
Review.
It's just a review. I try and put out a lot of new information all the time, but every now and then I like to just step back and look at some of the great work that other people are doing too. The Astrolabe should be here probably on Tuesday, and the kits will be here probably a week later. So I'm going to do some work with the Astrolabe, and then I'm going to actually build an Astrolabe and an armillary sphere from a kit. And just going to do that on my live stream over on Common Sense Science, and sometime probably next week.
Is the Astrolabe an old tool? It's very old, right?
Yes, it is. They started. It goes back to about 200 BC, but it really came into its own around 600 or 800 AD. It's really an amazing instrument, and the armillary sphere goes back at least to 200 BC, and it's very interesting. It's built around a spherical Earth.
Yeah, you need to make sure the armillary sphere squeaks, though. You need to steal something from Jose here.
Yep. Well, I was thinking about that because I have an armillary sphere in my yard that squeaks like mad. I was thinking about bringing that in and just playing, spinning it every now and then to get that.
Get that squeaky sphere sound. You can steal that from.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I seen it. I saw that you had your telescope in the backyard a few months ago. You were doing some observations or attempting to, and I saw it sitting in the yard. I said, "Oh yeah, that's got to be all rusty and squeaky, also."
Yep,
look good.
Yep, they're kind of interesting. I'm looking at sundials too. They're very interesting. So we'll have some stuff on sundials coming up on the channel in a few months. I'm kind of particular. Right now it's cold and snowy, and I'm going to wait until it's nice and warm before I go out and start doing crap in the yard again.
Nice, very
I'm
nice.
getting too old to go out and sit in a snowbank for a couple hours,
There's one of these books, Why Do Sundials Go Sunwise? Right? Why do clocks go clockwise? And it goes back to the fact that the sundial in the northern hemisphere, the shadow goes in the direction we call clockwise. So when they made clocks, they went the same direction.
Yep.
So if clocks had been invented in Australia, it would be the other way around.
Yep. Who was it the other day that had the ultimate comment? Oh, one of the flurfs came on out and said, "Oh, I see the Astrolabe is a flat object. Guess that means the Earth is flat."
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Who the heck was that?
I don't know. It sounds like I don't know. It could be. I say it sounds like a really stupid comment, but it could be almost anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to break it down. It's tough to break it down. I mean, it was Brian's logic level stupid, but it wasn't Brian's logic.
I have heard, yeah. Now I'm just Googling images on Astrolabe, and I heard this when I was in the flat Earth camp. As for this being a tool that predicted like eclipses and stuff like that, and the movements of the stars and rotation, is that it? Kind of.
Well, it has the rise and the setting of the stars. It has the direction to Mecca. You can tell the time with it. You can measure angles with it, of course. There's probably 300 or 1,000 different uses for an Astrolabe.
I think you're confusing it with the Amorthogria instrument computer, the one they discovered in the.
Yeah, that's not an Astrolabe.
Yeah, I know.
That's as old as an armillary sphere, but
This one, I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if this is, because there are a few different ones.
Yeah, that's an Astrolabe right there.
Right. One of the kind. But then there's another. This one is like rotate.
That's an armillary sphere right there.
Right. Okay. Got it. This is the armillary sphere.
Yep.
But then we got this.
Notice the center there is the Earth and it's round.
This one, yeah, I know. And then you got all kinds of twisty. Yeah, got it.
The inscriptions on that look very Arabic. Were these perfected by the Arabs?
They were actually done originally by the Greeks and then perfected by the Arabs. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say because these looks very Arabic. The writings on it. Yeah, the writing is Arabic.
Yep. Give me a second. Let me pull this up.
So do you think? I mean, they're not gonna bring this as the 2022 flat Earth evidence because this already been spoken about. The new one was the Sextant last year, but this one, yeah, now that.
Yeah, I got to put that down, Dr. Bob, on the reasons that the Earth is flat, that the Astrolabe is flat, therefore the Earth is flat.
Yeah, it ranks up there pretty high.
God.
Parts of the Astrolabe. Look at that.
Ooh. Yeah, you want to see how it works?
Basically a slide rule, isn't it?
Well, it's something like that, yeah. Right here. We'll have a look at something.
Oh, you got there. You're gonna turn the camera, Bob?
Yeah, I'll share it in a minute.
Good. All right, let me stop. Whenever you're ready.
All righty. Well, let's go see if this works. It doesn't want to do it yet. Okay, so right here is stellarium. Okay?
Yes.
Now, if you go up here and you click on the sun, all right, and you look right here where it says Alt-Az, okay, the azimuth is the direction to the sun, and you can see that right here, I think. All right. So you can see the azimuth to the sun. It's somewhere between the south and the southwest. But right here is the interesting thing. Today is, let's see. Looks like it's about 20 degrees above the horizon. You see here it says 20, and if you look right up here, it's 20 degrees. So let's go look at this. This is an Astrolabe simulator. Now, what I'm going to do with this is, let's see, the first thing that we have to do is we have to figure out what today is. So the date today is January 14th, correct?
Yes.
So there's January 10th, there's January 20th, this is January 14th right there. And that means it's the 25th day of Capricorn. See how that works? So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. And we're at 20 degrees for the sun. And today is the 25th day of Capricorn. So we're going to go find Capricorn here. So here's Capricorn. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the 25th day of Capricorn, which is going to be right here. You see that? Now, stage 2. This is 40 degrees. That's 30 degrees. Here's 20. So what we need to do is we need to bring the 25th day of Capricorn to 20 degrees. And that looks like it's about 20 degrees right there. So then what we do is we bring this right around here to 25. Then we read off the time. It's 2:15, 2:20 is what I have right here. Now, according to my clock, it's currently 2:44, which means we're 24 minutes off. Any idea why that is?
Time zones.
No idea.
You're an
All
Eastern
right,
time.
I'm reading the sun where I am, right? So am I reading clock time or solar time?
Solar time. Your time
I'm
zone. You're west in the time zone.
Yep, I'm reading solar time, and I'm at about 84 degrees west longitude, which means that I'm 6 degrees from the next time zone. So I'm 24 minutes off right there. So that brings me from 2:20 to 2:44. So that's actually not a bad time. But that's the way these things work.
The person that came up with this tool had to have some kind of smarts, right? Is there any smarts today that can come up with something like this? I mean, it's a tricky.
Oh, we can design this all day long. But see, here's the way an Astrolabe is.
I mean, we can design it, but we already got the blueprint. Pretty much this, we can just alter it and build it a different way. But this coming up the first time with this, just fucking smart.
Well, they weren't this complex. I mean, this was an evolutionary process.
Yeah. So you see right here, this white circle, this is your zenith at your position. So that's 90 degrees. And then it goes on out. That's 80, that's 70, 60, 20, or 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, etc. All the way down to the horizon. So this curved line right here, this is the horizon. And you're looking due south from your position. Okay. Now, what you can do with this is the sun's position is on the ecliptic, which is this ring right here. So this is where you set the sun's position, and you do that by the date, and it's done in the zodiacal calendar. Okay. Now, let's see what we have. This right here is the equator, I believe. This outer ring right here, that's the equator. And then you have the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer. It's in here.
What's the black dot at down right below that black dot right there? What's that?
That one. That is due south. And then these lines right here are your azimuth lines. Okay. So this would be due south, 180 degrees. This would be 170 degrees and 190 degrees. Well, actually, this would be 170 degrees. That would be 190 degrees. That's 200 degrees, etc. And on the back side here, you measure the angle. See, you've got a conversion scale up there, and you can also measure an angle directly off of it. So what you do is you say, say you're looking down at the horizon from a tall building. You sight along the flat portion of this rule here, the amylith, I think. Annelid is what this side is called. But you sight down this. And on mine, you actually have gun sights here and here. So you can get a very precise measurement of the angle, and then you read the angle off right here. This, I'm pretty sure, is the equation of time, but I'll have to look into that a little bit more.
When Tusk says astrolabes only work on a flat Earth, what do you think?
Cool. So he's more than welcome to do that. He's more than welcome to give it a try. But at night, what'll happen is that you sit on down and you see each of these little points right here. These are stars. So, for example, this one right here is Rigel, and it's right there. You know, there's the point. There's the point where you would see Rigel. So if we go back over to Stellarium, I'm not going to switch it, but we're going to go ahead and just go over there a little bit. Give me a moment.
I find this mechanical apparatus too scientific for my understanding.
It's not, though. That's the beauty of it. It truly isn't.
But you must have a basic understanding on, you know, the stars and
sky,
the degrees and the sky. Yeah, right. Basic understanding on this.
Well, you forget back before they had TV and lights and stuff. I mean, the sky was there, and they told stories, and I mean, everybody knew that. You know, you told time by the sky.
Now, do I need to know how to translate Roman numerals to regular numbers?
Yep.
I'm grinning over here. I'm laughing over here myself. That was so silly.
That would help. Yes.
Yep, you got to be able to do that. So let's go see. I want to find a star that's a decent size or decent ways up in the sky. Okay, so Rigel.
Can we call it Gary? Can we call that star Rigel that you're calling? Can we call it Gary? We all know it's Rigel, but let's call it Gary just to have a better.
Now, Rigel at 10:30 this evening is going to be 22 degrees above the horizon. So I'll show you how to do it with a star. You still see the Astrolabe, right?
Yes.
All right. So here's the point that represents Rigel. So what we're going to do is that's the horizon. There's 10 degrees. And I think I said it was what, 22 degrees? Let me look real quick. I want to do it right.
Gary is paying attention very closely. He's probably not looking at the screen share. He might be working, but he's listening very carefully.
It's 22 degrees. So right there, and remember, that's at 10:30 tonight. So here's 20 degrees. There's 21. There's 22. Sorry, guys. All right, so there's 22 degrees. Now, let's make sure that's right. Yeah, that's right. 22 degrees. So we go down here to Capricorn. And we put it on the 25th day. And that gives me a time of about 12:50 a.m. Let me see what time that's supposed to be here. All right, this is set up. According to this, it would be 1:32 a.m. Rigel would be at 22 degrees. So let's just make sure I have that set right. Actually, that would be.
I just want to share the sounds of Florida with you. You heard that?
So that's 12:55 p.m. or 12:55 a.m. on the 26th. Actually, yeah, it would be right there. That's 12:55 a.m. So I'm about 30 minutes off. Now, the error that you run into here is that Rigel's at 22 degrees, which is not that close to the horizon, but it's down towards the horizon. It's certainly not up to the midpoint of the sky yet. So you're getting some refraction, but more importantly, it has to do with my longitude. So you see, I'm a lot closer to Chicago than I am to Albany, New York. So that would mean instead of being out here at 1:30, I'd actually be a little bit closer here to 12:30 by astronomical time. maybe even a little bit more, maybe 1240. So I'm only about 10 minutes off. That's not too bad. But that's the way an Astrolabe works.
Very cool. That was it, Biggest Douglas. I say you hear the sounds of Florida, but something is the sound compression or something is not allowing the sound to come through. The fine sounds. Oh well.
Yeah, I miss the sounds of Florida. But yeah, since I'm so much closer to Chicago than I am to Albany, my time is going to be moved backwards by up to almost an hour. So my clock time is 1:30 on this, and my actual time is a lot closer to 12:30. And as you see, I'm running 12:50 is what I've got. So I'm within 10 or 15 minutes of the actual time just by looking at the position of the star in the sky.
Very nice, very nice. Can you, now that you got that open, and if you can look at the Daily Boom on Sensor, Sean Hawkins, his name, Mr. Sticky Fingers, he shared a 3D printer. He printed a 3D sundial that only shows you your date of birth and noon. I don't understand it. I see the sundial. It looks like an actual watch. I don't know if you can open that for us that you're screen sharing now. But
this one that you 3D print the digital time?
If you put in the mouse in the little rotating rotator on the mouse, if you press that one in the middle, poop, it will pop it open on a web page on the tab that you're opening, that you share. The scroll thingy on the mouse, if you click that one, if you push it, it will open it on a tab. But a 3D printer that only shows your date of birth at noon. I don't understand it.
Interesting. They have a digital sundial right now. And that's something that Sean might want to look into because it's perfect for 3D printing. It's a cylinder with a series of holes in it, and depending on the angle, once you set it up, sorry. Once you set it up, depending on the angle of the sun, it'll actually read out the time digitally as a shadow.
Sean said, it's a cube with one hole through it that lines up with the sun at noon on your birthday. You could actually make it with any material and a hand drill. So if it will show me the noon at my birthday, how does this know when my birthday is? I don't get it. It's going over my head. Sundial he posted is a regular one, but he's found a 3D print that only shows your date birth at noon. So I have to create the sundial to print it, but I gotta input my birth date, so it will know when it will line up exactly, I guess. I don't know. I'll shut up. We got over here Gary. Gary? Is that Gary? Questionable. Steve Rorino and the Stingray in the house. Stingray, have you ever played with an Astrolabe? Done any kind of model or analyze?
No, the only two things that I've played with is the 3D printed digital thing, because I wanted to print one myself. And it's obviously location specific. And I've obviously looked at sundials quite a bit.
Very cool, very cool. Let me do a big shout out because I got my first hit over here on the PayPal. Damn it, and I cannot open the whole thing. Oh, here's the details. PayPal hit, and there's a comment in it. Damn it, I cannot see it. Shit. Sorry about that. You stop screen sharing. I'll fix that in a second. All right. I got a PayPal for $10, and this is bribe money. Tell no one, or we are done. Marcus Dresden. So should I tell people that you didn't send me $10 as bribe money? Sorry, Marcus, but I appreciate the $10. Bribe money. Appreciate that, bro. So you have let me open. Yeah, let me open. There are two kinds of sundials in here. Let me open this up. I share my screen. If anybody want to share the screen, just let me know and I'll get you. So this one posted by Sean Hawkins first. I gotta share the screen on YouTube. Can you imagine us? Can you imagine us wearing a watch like this, like just like a sundial, a watch with a sundial thingy? That would be cool. Hello, Ben Delight. You are new. Welcome to the show. And this one, I've seen this before, and I've seen it working. You seen this type of sundial before, Stingray?
That's a digital sundial.
Digital. This one is really cool.
Yeah, 3D printed. I before printing one out myself, I just loaded in the 3D model and put a sun in to make sure that it actually worked okay. It did. It was. I just didn't get around to printing it, unfortunately, because I started to lose interest in flat Earth a bit. So.
Right. Yeah, you did. That you had that model, quote unquote model, the flat Earth and the globe, and you had the big sundial, just pointing, at the different time zones and shit. I remember you did a bunch like this.
Yeah, I mean, this sundial that you can print out, that anybody can print out, that you can order off eBay or from China for nothing. If you have a basic concept of geometry and can think in 3D, there is no way that this or any other primitive sundial would work on a flat. Oh well, caveat. There's obviously a few. There's a location that will actually work on a flat Earth, but it wouldn't work on any kind of like anywhere else.
And this type is like every 20 minutes, right? It will switch every 20 minutes or 15 or something like that.
I think it's well, you can get them at 5, 10, and 15 as well. I think I got one at 10 every 10 minutes.
I've got an image of one up for you here, Jose.
Yeah, right. Nice. If you want to share the image or share screen, yeah, I'll share you on YouTube.
There you go. But that's actually very similar to the one that you've got right there.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but this one is showing like specific time. Yeah. Whoa. There you go. 1240. Yeah, it looks really cool, man. The dots giving you the digital time. Boom. Shout out to everybody on YouTube chat box. Ben Delight, Marcus Dresden, Neil Constantino, Charlie Welch, Biggest Dogus, Blue Marble Science, Tusk, Humongous, everybody hanging out in the boom. And hold on. Neil Constantino says, he got 2 comments for you, Bob. I'm just going to assign you these 2 comments by Neil. Neil says, horizon, not Earth curve. And he say, gas pressure needs container. Ball is dead. What do you think, Bob?
Well, that's what he believes. I'm fine with that.
Welcome, Rod.
Unfortunately, most people, grow out of that by the time they're about 8.
I just gotta welcome Rashi50. She is new. Welcome, Rashi. You're new.
Hello, Rashi.
So gas pressure needs a container. What do you think about that, Bob?
Does it?
And the horizon, not Earth curve.
What is the horizon?
The horizon is the apparent juncture between the sky and the ground.
That's correct. And what causes that?
Earth curvature.
Damn straight. Yeah, I don't do arguments by meme anymore.
It's an optical limit based on foreshortening effects.
Shout out to Gary. Gary is in the house. You hear horizon, and horizon is something that poke you in the sweet spot, Gary, eh?
Oh, I was listening, but I happened to be walking back to my truck, so I could take a second.
Hey, Neil. We want to troll responsibly. Neil, when you gonna join Discord, bro? We'll troll responsibly.
So Gary, how many degrees are in a right angle again?
90. I corrected myself. Remember, Bob? I didn't stick to a lie.
No. Here's the point. So if there are 90 degrees in a right angle, and 60 of them are from the zenith down to my star, how many are from the star down to the zero mark?
At the moment, I don't care because I want to talk about the horizon being an optical limit.
Gotcha. So you understand, though, that if you go from zenith to the star and it's 30 degrees, that means the altitude of the star is 60 degrees because you can't add extra degrees for compression, right?
Bob, if I just took you somewhere and you didn't know where you were going, and I set you down and had you take an angle to Polaris from that point, based on that alone, could you tell where you were?
I could tell what latitude I was at, yes.
Without any other information, you don't know how high above the sea level you are or anything else. No other information, you could tell where you were.
Absolutely.
That's bullshit.
Well, have you ever done it?
No, but I know you have to adjust the angle to Polaris based on your height above the sea level.
Only if you're using the horizon. However, if you're using a bubble level which goes off of the zenith, no, you don't. There's no dip of correction for that. None whatsoever. And since I've actually done it, and you haven't.
So at 200 feet above sea level, you're going to get the same elevation angle as if you were at sea level.
Absolutely. 2,000 feet, 20,000 feet above sea level, you all get the same elevation angle to Polaris if you measure it from the zenith. Absolutely.
Because, okay, let's say I'm at sea level and I measure an angle at 40 degrees to Polaris, okay? Now I just simply measure a degree from whatever you're using. You can use your what's the thing you guys have been using that everybody's been arguing about lately? Sextant. Okay, so you just take a measurement at sea level and you get an angle to Polaris. We'll just say it's 40 degrees. Now, if you just go straight up, if you go straight up from there, what do you mean at the zenith? At its height?
I'm measuring the angle from the zenith down to the star because I can't see the horizon because it's night. So I'm using my bubble sextant and I'm measuring my angle down to Polaris.
Yeah, you still can't get that accurate because even if you're doing that, if you change elevation, it's going to change where that angle goes to.
Absolutely.
That's why if you're at sea level and you measure a 40-degree angle, then you go straight up. Bob, you let me finish.
Well, then get on with it.
I was, but you keep interrupting, you dumbass.
Get on.
You are the most irritating.
Come on, let's try to get into the topic and avoid the.
Okay, well, he doesn't like it when he's interrupted, but he interrupts constantly, and he thinks I'm bad. Okay, So anyhow, you're at sea level, you measure an angle 40 degrees, and then you go straight up 200 feet. And you just keep that sextant, just hold it, go up 200 feet. Is that 40-degree angle still aimed at Polaris? No.
Yeah.
No. No, you would have to reposition it.
Have you ever done it?
I know you wouldn't, because you can't go up in elevation and not change the angle that from your eyes to whatever you're looking at.
Gary,
yes, I can do it. I can just stand up and have a different angle.
All right, dumbass. We're going to go ahead and shove this right up.
Hi, Bob. Hey, by the way, I wanted to talk about the horizon. That's why I popped in. And the horizon is simply an optical limit. It's where you're foreshortened over the surface and you can't see any more detail past that point. You can't differentiate waves in the background from the foreground. It's that simple. And the reason it changes from day to day is because some days you have better optical conditions. That's all.
Ask Bob a question. Or Bob, he's like on mic, but he walked away. You can hear him like walking down the stairs or something.
Yep, I'm right here. All right, so
okay,
let's go ahead and show Gary how this works. Now, Gary, this is an A12 bubble sextant. You have one of these, right? You've got one of these, right? All right. The way this works is that there's a bubble chamber in here, and that sets up your vertical going straight up to your zenith. Then what you do is you adjust this disc right here, which changes this little mirror right here, this little piece of glass. The measurement is from the zenith out to the star. You're measuring that angle right there. It has nothing to do with the horizon. There is no dip correction with this. The only thing that you have to correct for is the index error of the sextant and the refraction at the level of the star. And at 45 degrees, you're looking at a correction of less than 3 minutes of angle due to refraction. I have one of these. I've used it to find my location with Polaris at night. It doesn't matter if this is on the ground or at 20,000 feet. The angle you read is exactly the same because the light from Polaris comes in parallel. End of discussion.
You just claimed you had to make adjustments, just like I was saying. Thank you, Bob.
The only adjustment that you have to make is for refraction at 45 degrees. If you don't do that, you're only going to be 3 miles off your position. 3 miles. That's it.
I said you have to make corrections. Thank you, Bob.
But you don't have to make any correction for whether it's on the ground or at 20,000 feet. Do you have one of these?
You had to make certain corrections. Thank you, Bob.
Do you have one of these? No, you don't. Have you ever seen?
Does it matter? I just heard you, and everybody else heard you say you have to make corrections. Thank you, Bob.
Now, that is, again, a problem with your understanding. You do not have to make any correction whatsoever when it comes to whether you're on the ground or you're at 20,000 feet. The one and only
you have to make 2 corrections, Bob.
2 corrections.
Everybody heard you, including me, loud and clear. You're very precise. Thank you, Bob.
Now, once again, you're going to try and talk over to get out of this little pickle you've gotten yourself into. Your claim,
pickle. I just said you had to make corrections.
Jose,
you couldn't do it without making corrections. That's exactly what you just told everybody, you dummy. Man, you are stupid.
Jose, if you let him continue to talk without me being able to answer what he's saying, I can't have a conversation or I can't discuss this.
I was interested in listening because you started.
Hold on, Daddy, let me talking and let me finish.
Yeah, I wanted to hear because Bob had like 2 points. He said we don't need to have any corrections, and he was going to elaborate. He was going to tell us, let's hear his point of view, his whole point of view. Maybe he says something in a different show. Maybe he says something earlier. I just want to hear his point completely without you interrupting or me or nobody interrupting. Let's give the floor to Bob. He's going to take 1, maybe 2 minute tops. Then you are going to be able to rebut him. But let's hear him. Let's stay on mute. Bob, please, Gary and everybody, please try not to interrupt. Please.
All right. Now, Gary's contention was that you had to get a different measurement based on whether you were on the ground or above the ground or by height. That's not true. There are only two corrections that have to be made. You have an index correction, which is your instrument error correction, and the other one is you have a small correction to make for refraction to an object high in the atmosphere. That refraction error is about 3 minutes of angle, or about 3 nautical miles on the Earth. That does not change no matter what your altitude above the ground is. The index error does not change no matter what altitude above the ground it is. You don't have a difference in your angle to the star based on your height when you're dealing with a measurement of the angle from the zenith down to the star. That only has to do when you're measuring from the star down to the horizon. Then you have to make a change in your dip correction, which accounts for refraction, height above the ground, and curve of the Earth. There is no dip correction with a bubble sextant, and I just demonstrated that, and I have done it. So unless he's done it and understands what's going on with this, he has nothing further to say about it. Thank you, Jose.
That is fair, and thank you, everybody, for being patient. Gary, take your time. If you want to address whatever he's saying, let's try not to interrupt him. Let's see what Gary's point is now. Go ahead.
Yes, he just told you again. You have to make several corrections to adjust it. He just did it again. Everybody heard it.
And everybody understood exactly what I said, except for you.
Everybody heard you say you had to make adjustments. You cannot simply just take the angle and leave it at that. You have to make adjustments, and you even said so. Thank you, Bob.
I actually did hear Bob say we don't need to do corrections.
Well, I heard Chris Berry when he came in a few minutes ago. He got a question for Bob. He's saying, let's give Chris Berry a few minutes, Gary, and Chris with Bob to see how it goes.
But before he starts, I will address that. I said you don't have to make any corrections based on height, not with a bubble sextant. There are corrections you have to make with all sextants, specifically the index correction, which is the instrument error, and any refraction to the star based on the altitude of the star. That doesn't change with elevation, which was Gary's point, which was Gary's point. So Gary is wrong. I am correct.
You just mentioned two corrections again. Thank you, Bob.
Yes, Gary, but
you both got the point out. I mean, we'll attempt to go back to it, but let's hear Chris, because sometimes Chris doesn't have much time. Let's see what he got, and you can stay as long as you want, Chris. I'm just saying, just take your spot now, man.
You tell me I have to go? No, I'm just kidding. No, it's fine. Actually, Bob answered my question with this demonstration, which I appreciate, because I didn't know about that either. I'm only familiar with the whatever sextant it's called to the horizon, but I'm also geometrically challenged to a certain degree because I haven't had geometry since high school. So I had to think, even when he was explaining, it's from the zenith to the star. I'm like, does the angle at the point of person not change? I guess it wouldn't. Only the angle from the star to the person would. But that's it, right? And angle has to change as you move altitude. It's just not the angle between you and the star. It's I can't explain it, right? It's something's changing as you're changing altitude. It's just not the angle you're making.
The only thing that changes is you change altitude, Chris. Your zenith does not change. Your angle to the star does not change reference to the zenith, your zenith angle. The only thing that will change is your angle down to the horizon if you're measuring that, because as you look down, you have three things that change. One is your elevation, the other is the amount of refraction, and the third is the curve of the Earth. So that's what the dip correction fixes and returns you to a horizontal. But the angle to the star comes in parallel rays, or the light from the star comes in parallel rays, and as a result, that angle won't change in reference to the zenith.
Right. Do you have or know the dip correction formula?
Yes.
Can you share it?
Yeah, there's two ways that you can get it very easily. The first way is it's printed in the nautical almanac. And the second is you can actually calculate it from the curve calculator by looking at the dip. to the horizon.
I would prefer to get from a citation that's not the Earth curve calculator. You mentioned the almanac. That's something I can get to online, or I have to pay for it, or
No, you can get it online. It's the nautical almanac, and the math in the curve calculator doesn't, I don't know what your problem with that would be, but they come out to exactly the same thing.
I just want to see the raw formula.
Let's go ahead and I'll see if I can find a link to the almanac for you real quick, and I'll post it in the chat.
I'm just sharing my screen. In the background, there was a set of turbines. Like, where in the fuck is the bottom of the turbines? But I just switched the visual on screen, and this is a transit of Venus taken on 2004 June 8. I just have some random images in the background. Earth is Live also shared a few things in the Daily Boom. If anybody would like to join either the discussion or the chat inside the chat, in the Daily Boom Discord server in the Uncensored, we are sharing images and links and stuff. And you can also join the call on the YouTube Live voice chat. All right, you shared a link, Bob. I can open the link, and you guys can click on my screen share, and it should be up right now. The nautical almanac.
Well, I found that link. I'm looking for the specific.
Yeah, if you want to point to me specific
formula, I guess. The dip.
Equation of time curve. No, navigational star chart. The air almanac. Conversion of arc to time. No, that's not it. You want me to click on a specific, Bob, on this nautical almanac? Oh, he's away. I can't hear him. Well, while he come back, I'm gonna put an image up from Earth is Live. This is Chris Ready. What do you see when you see these first impressions on this image on screen right now?
I'm not of the sun or moon or whatever.
No. Oh, you're not checking my screen share? Click on my name and watch stream.
Yeah.
Watch my stream. I just switched.
Of the ISS thing.
Give me your thoughts on this image. Look at that, how high quality image.
I just laugh at it, first of all. Like, what's taking that photo, and how is it so close? That's hilarious.
It looks crisp. Look at that. Look at this blackness of space, and look at this brightness of Earth with the curvature underneath this big body of the ISS.
What's that thing that's curved right there?
This appears to be the surface of the Earth.
That could be that could be from one of the crew capsules coming in, by the way, Jose. And there's your formula, Chris. 0.97 times the square root in height of the height in feet.
Go to where did you paste it? Which room?
Just in the chat.
Big text.
Right underneath your post.
I lost track where I was.
You
posted on screen share.
You laughed at the picture of the ISS.
I don't know what channel or what room.
Oh, Daily Boom Uncensored. You typed ha ha ha. It's underneath that, and I'm sharing the screen with that.
All right, let me see. Now. Well, but that's from a different source than you told me, Bob.
So?
Why doesn't the Nautical Almanac have that?
It may. Go through it and look. You asked me for the formula. I was kind enough to go find the formula on top of the Nautical Almanac. So go ahead and check the math. You can easily check your math against the table in the Nautical Almanac, see if it matches.
Well, I don't see that in the nautical almanac.
You don't see dip correction in the nautical almanac?
It says determined dip. Okay, maybe this is it.
There's a table that has dip correction on it.
0.97 times square root of height of I in feet.
Yes.
Okay, so is that formula? That's on a curved surface formula.
Yes. Yeah, there are three things involved with it. There's height, there's refraction, and there's earth curve. And it corrects it to horizontal.
What about that formula would tell me that that's on a curved surface?
It's right there.
I'm saying it says 0.97 times square root of I height in feet.
Great, correct.
Table 5 in the almanac.
No, I'm saying like literally in the formula is it the square root part? Like I'm not a mathematician. I don't know some of these things, right? Like,
yeah, you take the square root of the observer height to the height of the eye in feet and multiply it by 0.97, and that's the dip correction. Or you can use the curve calculator, and that will give you the dip correction, or you can look it up on a table in the nautical almanac, and that'll give you the same dip correction. So
let's say okay, so 0.97 times, let's say the eye height in feet is 10 feet.
Okay.
Oh, wait, square root of the.
So 3.16 times 0.97.
Hold on, 3.1. What was it? 3.16.
Yeah, times times 0.97.
3.0652. Yeah, what is that? Feet?
Minutes.
Minutes?
Yep.
It's an angle.
Yes, of course it's an angle. Now let's look it up in the almanac and see what the.
No, it's in the. I found it in the almanac. That's fine.
What?
So I found it in the almanac.
And does it come out to 3 minutes?
Well, it's the same formula, so yeah.
Okay, good. There you go.
But my question is on the formula, what would the formula be if the Earth were flat then?
Well, you go ahead and tell me real quick. So, what would it be?
Don't know.
It would be the tangent. It would be the tangent of the horizontal over the. Let's see. That would be the drop at the horizon over the distance to the horizon.
Drop at the horizon?
To the distance at the horizon on a flat Earth, yes.
Drop, you mean like eye height?
Yep. So if you're 10 feet above the ground, it would be 10 feet over the number of feet to the horizon. That would be the tangent of the angle. So then you take the arc tangent from that, and that would give you the angle. And that would be in feet.
Problem is they can't calculate the distance to the horizon.
What?
The problem is they can't calculate the distance to the horizon.
Well, that's a little problem for you there, isn't it, Chris?
Well, it's not. It's everyone's problem.
It's not mine. I know how far it is to the horizon.
How do you know that? Because let's say I didn't know anything about any of this, and I looked at the black swan photo, and I said, "Oh, look, the horizon is 10 miles," and I did my calculations. Wouldn't it be way
It's not,
off?
but it isn't. The
But
horizon
according
in
to
the black
the
swan is
photo, it is.
1.85. The horizon in the black swan is 1.85 miles.
Can you want to screen share and show me where you're getting that from?
I did a whole video on it with Brandon. Go watch it. How much of that? How much?
No fun.
How much of the far oil platform is missing and blocked on the bottom?
We're talking about the same thing, right?
Did you? You never
talking
really
about the same thing, right?
photo, did you?
We're talking about the same black swan, right? The one that Keeley and Nathan Oakley use.
Yeah.
You think there's stuff missing from the bottom of those
I don't think I mentioned
objects. Then how is the horizon behind those? Hold on a second. How is the horizon behind those objects then?
It isn't. It's in front of them. There's a false horizon below them, but the actual horizon is at 1.85 miles.
And you can tell me to look at the video. It's just not very fun for Jose's live show, but I'd like to see you present it and show me what you're talking about.
Do you want to see it, Jose?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll show you the picture from
What
it.
else do we have to do? Come on.
I'll show you the picture of it. How's
Yeah,
that?
show a little bit there. Show a little bit.
Yeah, you don't have to go over the video. Just show the picture and maybe explain.
Sure.
I want to give a big shout out to all the audience watching. Big audience, 51 people. This is the highest amount of viewers in this channel. This channel only have 453 subscribers. So under 500 subscribers, we got 50 people watching. That's huge. So big thank you to everybody watching. And I am glad that I am able to provide a place where people can come in and hang out here on the internet and staying out of trouble. So I really appreciate it. Everybody, don't forget to hit like, support if you can. And big shout out to everybody on the Daily Boom Discord server. I'm going to give a proper thank you to everybody here in the call. We have Big Blue, Chris Berry, Do Gary, Man Gary, Dr. Bro. We got Flip Flop, Gary, Questionable, Joseph Stanley, Laurie, Think Gary, bro. Steve Rorino and the Stingray. Lots of good people in the chat. Bob, when you are ready to screen share, you're up.
I'm just trying to find a good picture of it.
Either you can screen share or you can post a picture of something, and I'm already screen sharing. So.
While Bob's searching for that, I've got a question on Gather. So
What? Stingray.
Yeah.
What happened with the audio? What happened with your mic? Sounds sounds like gargling.
Oh, doesn't it? Yeah, balls. Wait a minute.
Is it just me or you guys hear that, right? Did it gargle?
I hear the same thing.
All right.
Yeah, it gargled.
Okay, how about now?
Oh,
Not
Yeah, natural worse.
A little worse. Drop and rejoin and see if that fixes it.
Yeah.
Turn it off and back on again.
All right. Do you see my screen?
Not yet, but I will. You'll be up in 5 seconds, so you can go ahead.
All right. Well, this is the Far Oil platform from the Black Swan. Everybody recognize it?
Yes.
Great. Now, if you look, let me bring this over. Can you guys see my cursor?
Yes.
Great. So, Chris, how high is this point on the oil platform right here?
This is your presentation, man. I don't know.
Okay, you're right. So you don't. Now, this point on the platform is a known distance. The helipad that's behind my head is at a known distance above the sea. Where is the boat deck? Just go ahead and point that boat deck out for me, Chris.
I literally can't do that because you're sharing it, not me, but
Great. All right.
Go ahead.
So the boat deck's down here. And that boat deck's 15 feet above the water. Why can't we see it?
What's blocking it?
Something's blocking the boat deck from our vision. So we're missing 15 to 20 feet of that oil platform. Missing 15 to 20 feet gives it a horizon of 1.85 miles. There you go, Chris. You know, the problem with Black Swan, the problem with the Black Swan.
That's your conclusion?
None of them ever bothered analyzing the photo.
You just say you literally go from the boat deck should be here. It's missing 15 feet, therefore 1.85 miles.
Yes.
That's not very scientific now, is it?
You have a problem with the math?
I'm just saying it's not scientific.
Do you
How did you conclude? Well, what's blocking blocking the boat deck?
For me then.
Math. What does math have to do with it? What's blocking the boat deck? Math.
The horizon.
What's the horizon?
It's where the sun. It's where the sea meets the sky.
Is it apparent?
Yeah.
Why are you claiming that something that's apparent is blocking something else?
Go ahead and point out the boat deck for me there, Chief.
It's not just something that's apparent that's in the way. The water's in the way. Water is not just apparent. It's water
Well,
too.
he said it was. He didn't say the water. Don't put words in his mouth, Gary Man Gary. He said it was the horizon. And he also said the horizon was apparent.
That's a good try. None of us are going to buy that little argument. Try again.
Would. It's not. It's just factual discussions we're having.
No, that's
the horizon.
silliness.
You said it was the horizon.
What is the horizon, Chris?
It's an apparent thing. Why are you saying that an apparent thing?
What causes it?
Is physical.
Correct. Yes. So what's your point?
The thing that you're saying is blocking the bottom is at an apparent position that changes all the time.
Yes. That's why it's there instead of closer. Because that's a very high refraction day.
Right. So you're saying refraction's what's blocking the bottom then?
No, I'm saying the horizon is what is blocking the bottom.
But you didn't prove that.
Sure, I did.
You just said the horizon is apparent and that it was a high refraction day, and we know that refraction alone can block something on a flat surface.
Yeah. No. Sorry. What the horizon is the apparent location of the sea and the sky. The boat deck.
Why would it not be the physical location? Why would it not be why is the definition not the physical location of where the sea and the sky meet?
Why would you think?
Really quick, Chris Berry, I got this image on screen because you guys are talking about the horizon.
Yeah.
I just posted on the Daily Boom on Sensor. But you guys can continue talking.
My same line of questioning, Jose, applies to what you're screen sharing.
Yep. Another great example of Earth curvature.
I haven't seen evidence of Earth curvature in these photos. I'm hearing refraction.
At it right now.
Horizon. But what's the evidence?
Can I just ask a logical question to Chris? Chris, imagine I've got a high-powered rail gun. Beyond the realms of physical possibility, it can fire a projectile straight for an unlimited distance. I'm going to take aim at the bottom of those wind turbines and take everyone out, but I have to hit where the wind turbines hit the water. Can I do it? And where would I aim on that picture? Please point it out.
Not based on a photo. You think the military is using this photo to hit those wind turbines?
You mean a digital photo perceived through a sensor, which is in most targeting systems in the military? I don't know. You tell me.
No, absolutely not. They're using some highly advanced laser-targeted system.
Optical, vision neural network, target identification, yes, and it uses a camera sensor that sensors EM spectrum waves, light. So where would I aim and shoot? Imagine I've got a
Is that the
optical,
same thing as this?
Imagine I've got an optical instrument. You can laugh in little childlike laugh, but one of us knows what we're talking about. Imagine I've got an optical target, a scope, and I can see these, and we're looking through it now, just like a camera lens, but it just happens to have a crosshair on it. Where would I aim to take out the wind turbine at its base on the one at the far left? Would I be able to do it without hitting water? What is your answer?
I already gave it to you. You were not using a Nikon P whatever 1000 camera this person used as your targeting mechanism, and to suppose that is ludicrous. And everyone now thinks you're dumb.
I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that.
Stingray, I just want to say, I'll be away for 5 minutes, and this image is the only one who's going to be up for 5 minutes. I'll be back shortly. You guys can talk as much as you want.
So, Chris, really quick question then. Can you tell me the difference optically between a Nikon P1000 or Canon EF400 or 1800 millimeter Canon EFL series 2.8? Can you tell me the difference between that and the result that we get looking through it compared to the optics in a scope or a telescope? Go for it. What's the big difference?
Well, you think they're using? Using a telescope? Do you think the military is using a telescope to shoot targets 30 miles away?
That's exactly what I said in it, word for word. Now, stop strawmanning me and answer the question. Can you tell me the difference?
Can you show me that?
Can you tell me the difference between a P1000 at full focal length versus the equivalent focal length on a scope, on a rifle? Can you? Just tell me the difference. Give me one big difference, which means I can't interchange them by painting crosshair on one.
I don't know what I've lost track of all the fallacies you've gone through.
Okay. Let me just. I'll summarize it. Yeah. I'll summarize it again. You're saying we can't have a P1000. It's too different to a scope. It's so different. It's unbelievable. Brilliant. Give me the biggest difference. One.
I need you to show me the military using a telescope to target their enemies.
No, I'm saying an optical device with convex and concave lens elements.
Show me that.
Chris, the thing you keep forgetting is that these targeting systems are using what essentially is a camera. The lenses and the sensor are doing the same task.
But I'm more interested. Wait a minute. Don't let him run. Do not let him run. Chris, please tell me right now the difference between a P1000 and a scope on a rifle. What is the difference besides the crosshair? Please tell me.
Are you talking about a rifle now?
Yeah. So I've got the Earth is Life has just posted one in the Daily Boom. A scope, an optical
would never
scope.
Be able.
Right, optical
What's the
scope.
range? What's the range of an optical scope?
Let's say 800 millimeter equivalent on each. So optically, the magnification is exactly the same. So the equivalent
Are
of the
there
800.
scopes with that magnification?
Yes. Now tell me the difference between the two. Or you're just on about zoom level? Is that all you're on about? Just zoom level, right? Or is there some other big difference that we're all missing here? Go for it.
What?
Hey, Stingray, I went ahead and I posted the military using a telescope to target things for you if you want to use it.
I'm fine. I just want him to say what's the difference between a telescope, a P1000, and a scope on the top of a rifle. But he keeps running away and saying, "You show me a telescope." I don't give a shit. Just tell me the difference. Tell me why they're not interchangeable.
What's the range?
Let's say they're variable. Let's say the variable.
Rifle.
Variable.
What's the range?
Variable focal length. Go for it. Variable focal length.
Okay. Relax.
Yeah, cool.
What's the maximum distance that a sniper has ever shot anyone before?
I actually have no idea.
Okay, I don't know the exact
100 meters.
Okay, thank you. Which is how many miles?
About 1.25 miles.
Exactly. So
okay, brilliant.
It's not very far. So you're not going to use a sniper rifle scope.
Imagine this. Okay. Forget this. Everybody can see that you're dodging.
Yeah,
let's do this.
I debunked you, so let's move on.
You win. You win, Chris. You win. Right,
okay,
are you ready? Listen, really, I've got one more question. Right. So I have a railgun that can fire a straight projectile.
Oh my God.
And I fasten a P1000 to the top of the railgun. I put a crosshair on it, and it is calibrated perfectly. Now, I need to shoot the bottom of those wind turbines, the one on the far left, in order to destroy it. Will I have to aim and hit through the water? Yes or no?
I mean, this is getting ludicrous, man. You're strapping on a P1000 on a highly sensitive military piece of machinery.
Where would I aim? Anybody that thinks the Earth is flat, where would I have to aim? Go for it, Chris. I can see them. I can see them. I need to put a crosshair on it, and I need to shoot. Where am I shooting, Chris, to hit the base of the one on the left?
You got to shoot. You got to shoot through the water there, Stingray.
Fucking have I?
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Through the water. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. No one's shooting through the water when they're shooting at targets. Come on.
All right.
Well,
so
if you
what's
want to hit
in
the
the way,
base, that's
Chris?
how you got to do it there, Chris. The Earth curve's in the way.
Yeah.
Oh, so
What's
it's a
in the
hump
way?
now, huh? So the hump's in the way?
Chris, what's in the way?
Is it the hump?
It's
What's in the way? Why
Is it
can't you
water,
see the
Chris?
bottom?
It's the curve of
What's
the
in
Earth,
the way?
Chris.
Why
It's the
can't you
curve
see
of
the
Earth,
bottom?
and
What's
you're
in the
looking
way?
at it right now.
Where'd the boat go? Where'd the boat go? You guys sound
Yeah.
like Brenda. Where'd the boat go?
That is the
Yeah,
curve
but-
of the Earth right in front of you now, Chris. How
The
do
curve?
you avoid
What's blocking?
acknowledging that?
What is it? You mean the curve? I
What
don't see
is in the
anything
way, Chris?
curving. I don't see any
we
curve.
don't see it. We all see it. Everybody sees
Where
the
is the curve?
We
It's
see
the horizon.
right. Just wait a minute, Chris. Really quickly,
Horizon's in apparent position.
Chris is actually correct. We don't see the curve, but we see the damn
Thank
right
you.
effects of the curve because I can't shoot the
That's an
bottom of that wind turbine.
That's an assumption, Stingray.
Doesn't matter. That assumption is evidence, and it matches reality and physicality. So even though
assumption's
it
not
is not
evidence.
proof, you're right. It's not proof. It is evidence. It's not an assumption. I know that if I try and target the bottom of that, I can because it's behind water. Although, if I've got a straight rifle, if Gary says I've got to shoot up in the air, that's just class. That's amazing.
Yeah, Chris,
I didn't say that.
denying reality doesn't really help your case. It's right.
No
in front
one's.
of you,
You're
right?
the one that's denying the facts of the case, Bob. I'm sorry to break it to you.
I can see the curvature right there.
Stingray admitted he can't see curve. He's assuming that there's curve because to Stingray, there's nothing else that could block. Now, if you ask someone like,
There's nothing else that can block. Go ahead and tell us what that is then.
Just really quickly, guys. Wait a minute. Just really quickly.
Tim Osmond has a list of like 100 things that could block the bottom of something.
No,
so
listen
you
to
need
this.
to reconcile.
Listen to this. Block is is actually to me the secondary thing. The fact that those wind turbines have moved down uniformly is far more damning than anything else because it shows that the elevation to my tangent has dropped, which is the same reason now the water is in front of it. Not because it's the water's magically come up. It's because the base of it and the top of it and all of it in a straight line tangent have moved away from me down because they're following the curve of the Earth.
Chris, you can't really get away from this. There it is right in front of you. The fact that
what's in front of me
is not our problem. All
What's
right,
in front
that
of
is
me,
the
Bob?
problem. That's a knowledge deficit and an understanding deficit on your part.
No, I'm teaching you, Bob. You're saying there's curve in the way.
Excuse me?
There's no curve there, Bob.
There is.
You say the horizon's blocking the bottom. We all know the horizon moves all over the place, but you're saying the horizon is for sure at 1.85 miles with zero evidence of that fact.
Are you questioning the mathematics? Can you invalidate?
I'm questioning your evidence. Yes. What math?
The water's in the way, Chris.
Math isn't.
Can you invalidate the mathematics or the trig? Can you do that?
Math isn't reality.
What does that have to do with anything?
Can you invalidate the math? Simple as that.
How do you know that only that exact 15 feet is missing from the bottom?
Because I measured it.
It's perfectly. How did you take into account refractive compression of the object?
How can you point out anything below 15 feet above the water in that picture?
How did you take into account refractive compression that we all know exists that can squish physical objects into pancakes? How did you take that into account when you did your calculations?
Take that into account for us, Chris.
I don't need to.
Give us the formula.
You don't need to.
If you claim
Give us the formula,
do it, that's for you to prove. That's not for me to disprove.
No, it's your claim, Bob.
So,
It's your claim,
1.85
not mine.
miles, Chris. And quite frankly, if you use 1.85 miles, it works out for the other oil rig as well, which is only missing 3 to 5 feet. But it's missing.
Anybody want to share anything else? What are you sharing, Bob? Is it related to what we're talking about or not? Oh, because I'm back. I'm ready to share. Oh, I got a few more images, actually. I'll
This
share a
is a
few more.
military telescope. This is an optical rangefinder. he asked specifically where the military used telescopes to target things, and there it is right there. So,
all right. But we arrive to a conclusion about the disappearance bottom up, like this image on screen that people shared. This is an observation that he can repeat many times. There's barely any distortion on the building, on the floors, on the stories of the buildings, and it's missing a lot in the bottom section. Yeah, there are waves. The water is.
There's no optical. No optical compression there. You can actually look at the distance from one story to the next on those buildings, and they're not even compressed.
Yeah.
So
there's waves. Even if you get rid of these waves, the big waves, still, it's a lot missing.
How many feet are those waves?
A few feet.
Well, I'm asking B-Ball. He's the one that was there too.
He probably his camera is higher than the highest wave. Let's say his camera is, I don't know, 20 feet, and the wave is 10 feet.
Well, let's get
it matters.
Numbers.
Well, it's not 50 feet. Chris. Would you agree with that?
But I don't know. Really quick, I've never been to Hawaii. I hear they have big waves.
Listen to this point, Chris, right? Let's say the camera is 20 feet high and the waves are 10 feet high. It matters because the wave is not going to block more than 10 feet. It's never going to block above your eyesight because the camera is higher than the wave. The wave, 10 feet, never going to block more than 10 feet on the object in the distance. Never.
Unless refraction increases the height of the wave.
Those buildings missing.
Unless refraction increases the height.
I just want to point something out. B-Ball just shared another image, and it shows that it's missing an island, but I like the name of that island. It's Magic Island. So Magic Island is missing. I'm not sure that's a really good argument.
I also noticed that there are houses on Magic Island as well. Where are those houses, Chris?
Well, where's B-Ball? Let's ask him. What is your eye height, and how big are the waves? Let's just find that out first of all.
Yeah, I know he got a series of this. He used to go daily. He went many times. And he got all the information. I just forgot. I haven't followed too close.
And he says
it's camera height, Chris, not eye height.
Sorry, camera height. He says that depending on the day he's gone, he has different observations of the quote unquote horizon changing position.
Yeah, and statistically, if you plot them, they'll never hit the base of those buildings, and it's a little bit weird. Why not? And they all purport to our current understanding of refraction and the curve of the Earth.
No, they don't.
I'll tell you what, Chris.
How can you say they don't when you have no idea what it is?
You don't understand refraction.
Try me.
Other than 76R, please. We've all seen back in the day. I used to use it. I have the picture snippets. I don't have the video anymore. They took them down of Red Pill Philosophy's hotel. One day he sees all the way to the bottom. There's trees. There's a dock, a deck, and the next day, like 3/4 of the buildings are missing.
Yeah, that's the way refraction works sometimes. What about it?
Right, it blocks stuff. We know that.
No, refraction does not block things. Refraction exposes things that are normally blocked, such as the bottom of the. Under normal refractive conditions, we'd be missing 45, 50 feet of that far oil rig and the black swan. However, only 15 or 20 feet is missing because it's a very high refraction day. Refraction doesn't block things. Refraction exposes things.
That's ludicrous.
Can I show
Really?
you something?
Go ahead. Yeah, let me share your screen. I'm on it.
Because I put something else in that's quite interesting as well into the Earth model that I did. So, Chris, are you seeing my share?
Hold on, I'm gonna click again.
Oh no, I click. I can feel the pain.
You're up. That's doing great.
Chris, do you ever think about maybe learning about this rather than just constantly trying to figure out ways to make it fit your narrative?
Go ahead, Stingray. I'm looking.
So, what I wanted to do is, with the minimal amount of information, I wanted to build a model. Now, very importantly, I put the text up here. A model is a way for us to visualize, test, and predict an assumption. And all of this, I'll say, is an assumption. and I'm wanting results, statistical evidence that points to the reality of this. And the way that I do that is we simply make predictions. So the only things that are important here is one big ass sphere, proposed to be the size of what it is, a 23.5 axial tilt, what it is, a very, very far away sun and the size that it is. And I've got seasons marked down here. Now with this, I can predict the path of the sun through your sky on any day, wherever you are on the planet for anyone, and it always works. Now, an example here, I also put in something else, which I'll show you. I put in the Terminator line so that we can track that, because there's something quite interesting about it. So at the moment, I've got this little widget here. The top left view is our nice little view. The middle view here is the sun observer, and the view to the far right, which I'll get rid of at the moment, is actually for star trails. I'll show that later. Now, this view down here is viewing the observer. So what we can do is we can rotate this to wherever you are, Chris, and I can rotate this big tilt to whatever portion of whatever month you're in, and I can give you the exact path of the sun through your sky, give or take like a fraction of a degree, because I haven't put in days and times in this. I've just done like months and shit. I can't be asked doing it. But I'm going to move myself up to here, Greenwich, really easy. And this is the path now. If I play this, this is the path of the sun through my sky. And yes, England is a little bit devoid of sun around the 1st of January. So here we go. And these little dots here represent 5-degree increments. And this is the path that the sun will take through my sky. But I can move this let's call it player widget, anywhere on the planet. So now in the middle of Africa, nothing else changes, just the observer position and the lat long. And that's the path in Central Africa. And it matches. It will match exactly for everyone all the time in any position for any for any month. Now, it's pretty coincidental if this is fake and it's a flat Earth, that this model with every single prediction for every single day, for every single position works, isn't it?
I guess you could say it's a coincidence, sure.
How big a coincidence would it have to be when now, let's consider this. This is the Terminator line for that sun. So a really weird thing that I used to notice, I'm in England, and I used to go to the Balearics here. I used to ring my mum and dad, and I go in off-peak season as well, because I ain't a big people person. But the weird thing here is, if we look at what's happened right now, the Balearics has got sun. England hasn't. However, it should, because of the longitude that they're on. So the issue that I've got here is the Terminator line and live webcams that you can match. This Terminator line you can track. Now, I am going to plot this out, this Terminator line. That now I can go. A very interesting thing is you can see that in Portugal, you can see that in England.
You?
Just really quickly, let me say this, because this is 8, and I did this a couple of days ago. So I'm in England here. The sun's gone down. Now, Portugal is further west than me. But I can look at a live webcam of the beach on Portugal, and it's still got sunlight. And I think that's awesome. So I haven't been able to screw this up yet, and I'm wondering if you could help.
So my question was, you have looked at live cameras to verify your model?
Live cameras and my position outside my house, tracking this through the through the sky with these mil dots, and like I say, it's within half a degree accurate. And it's only within half a degree accurate. I could make it very accurate if I put some effort in, and actually these months aren't equidistant or shouldn't be in terms. Yeah, so I'd have to put a bit more effort in to make it like 100th of a degree accurate, but it's certainly less than half a degree accurate. And and I could do it for you right now. You could give me your approximate lat long, not your exact, obviously. And I can tell you the path of the sun through the sky, and it's not using math. All it's doing, there's no difference in 3D. This is why I love 3D. I didn't build this with algorithms or stuff like that, although I'm a developer, of course I could. I built it using spheres and distances and survey data. There is no difference between me using this computer program and going outside and building a sphere and walking 20 miles and making a sphere the size of a skyscraper for the sun. There's no difference whatsoever. This just allows me to do it while I'm sat down because I'm lazy. But anyway, sorry. Yes, what was your question?
I think I asked it.
Oh shit! Oh right, yeah. The only one that I can do is Portugal. You want to look for beach resorts, but the Terminator line here, the coast of Portugal has still got sunlight. You can watch the sunset while I'm in pitch darkness in the UK. Except Portugal is a shit ton more west than me, and the coast of Africa. I've never looked for a webcam here, or the Canary Islands, in fact. Oh, no, wait a minute, they're the Canary Islands. Yeah, the Canary Islands, same thing. Shitload more west. Now, according to a flat Earth map, the sun should be well within this region to be able to light this now, but it isn't. Oh, sorry. The sun should be nowhere near being able to light this on a flat Earth map, but it is. But like I say, I'm going to have two models. I'm going to map the Terminator line that we can verify with webcams that works for every single position. I feel like I'm droning on, but I'll map it out on a flat Earth and show the mutating effect of how the light has to fall off in a physics impossible way. And I'll find it interesting to do. But the other view, by the way, was for star trails, for people that want to figure out why star trails. So I've got the actual Milky Way plotted in the sky. But then I've also got a star trails segment that shows you anywhere on Earth where you can.
I do have a question for you.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Do you agree with Bob when he said that refraction can only show things and not hide things? I think is what he said.
I don't agree with your statement that refraction hides things. It depends. Wait a minute. First of all, unfortunately, semantic arguments are you have to be careful with, and I'm going to be careful here. When you say hide, what do you mean?
I literally mean make, vanish, disappear, hide.
Right. So make, vanish, and so my version of hide when in these observations is being occluded. That's not what you mean. You mean make, vanish.
Oh, make, vanish. That was probably bad English. You vanish, but like have you seen
I'll tell you what.
Sky Freeze videos?
No, I don't watch flat Earth videos anymore. But I'll give you this. So there's two aspects here. One is an occlusion sense. That means something is physically blocking it. When I say physically blocking it, the thing that is preventing me from seeing it is physical, such as the water, such as another object. Then there's vanish, magically, poof, gone, because the light's scattered. Can refraction do that? Yes, it can make light scatter and mutate enough so that either it's so distorted you can't distinguish it, or it even just quats off like the very acute angles in a mirage.
Right.
But
so not semantically speaking, we're on the same page that refraction can quote unquote block things or hide things from the viewer.
There is a very telltale sign of that though. And that's incredible distortion. And you would notice it. You can, you see it in the background, you see it in the ocean, you see it on objects. Incredible distortion would have to occur. You've seen boats disappear due to refraction. They've not. Nothing's hiding them at that point. You are correct. But when something is crisp and clear and goes over a body of water, and I can definitively say that, hey, it didn't just vanish in a magical Doctor Strange type way, but the water is now blocking my view of it. That's a very different proposition.
I mean, that's an assumption, though.
No.
I don't think you can look at something and just simply state, "Oh, that's obviously clearly going around a curve." In the real world, I should say.
So I cannot definitively say that's going around a curve. Possibly correct. I can statistically beyond all reasonable doubt say it's going beyond a curve because it matches what we would expect every single time, along with the preponderance
not true.
of wait a minute, listen. Along with the preponderance of other evidence. So if it was just that by itself, let's say we don't know anything about the world or life, we're just figuring things out. We see a ship disappear. I probably think it's sunk at that point. Now, if I can zoom in with an optic and there's water in front of it, I think it's sunk. You're correct. It might take me a while to come up with a hypothesis that says, oh well, maybe the ocean's curving, but that by itself is a stretch. But that's not it by itself. That's the model of the sun and the Earth that I've just showed you that does brilliant predictions. That's 10,000 other things that also support those figures. It is not an assumption, or you do it injustice saying it's an assumption when it's got so much evidence supporting it. Not proof, evidence.
Right, I agree with that. As far as the evidence versus proof goes, you have some evidence, your case. But you also have a lot of assumptions, and a lot of those things are built on assumptions too. That's how I look at it, at least.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, in order to assert that something's an assumption, you need to know the individual's mindset, their skill set, what they've gone through, because an assumption it's a relative thing. It's not something that you can absolutely say someone is doing.
Well, for example, the fact that people still post photos of distant objects that are cut off at the bottom or blocked or obscured or whatever, and say that's 100% Earth curve, it baffles my mind because everyone in this debate has seen so many examples of other things that can cause blockage, such as refraction, such as waves.
Wait a minute. Let's call it. Wait a minute. So the problem is wording: hidden, blockage, vanish, occluded. Now, the only thing that we should be worried about is when something is in front of and it shouldn't be, such as the water in front of wind turbines or a boat. That is it. If the boat is simply missing the underneath and there might be sky there or it's gone fuzzy, I don't give a crap because refraction is doing some magical, funky things there.
But there's always refraction, though. You would agree with that?
Yeah, there's refraction between me and the monitor. I'm looking through glasses at a monitor right now.
The further out you go, the worse it gets. So oftentimes we're looking at stuff like 10, 15, 20, 30 miles away. And people are like, oh, where's the bottom go? Well, the refraction is going to, hold on. Refraction, the further out you go, it's going to compound because you're looking through more atmosphere, right? You're not looking through 2 feet of atmosphere, you're looking through 20 miles of atmosphere.
Correct.
So when I say things like it's hard to predict, refraction, and I don't like the term standard refraction because it's almost impossible to apply that to every scenario because of those very reasons. To say, well, is standard refraction the same at 3 miles out as it is versus 20 miles? Well, no, it can't be. There's way more atmosphere.
No, it isn't. You're correct. You are correct. Now, but the problem is we'd never see 20 miles unless you're incredibly high up.
We see 20 miles all the time.
Unless you were incredibly high up, you wouldn't see 20 miles. Unless you were looking at something huge. Or you were high up.
I mean, there's people with shore observations from 18, 20 miles away that show top to bottom.
Right, I'm going to show you. Can you see my screen still, Chris?
I can see your graphic, yeah.
Yeah. So this is another interesting example that I got. It's 345 miles and 5 degrees of curvature. So on the left we have, on the one down at the bottom, this left-hand example here is the Earth and the proposed curvature, and on here we have flat. Over the same distance.
I've seen this before.
Yeah, except I've got 2 ships here, and all these ships here, there's 2 views on the right. They're all the same distance, and they're all just within the first 5 miles. In fact, possibly one's just over the 5 mile mark. But when you say, can we see curvature? Semantically, it's probably wrong to say we see curvature on the ocean. I don't see curvature, if I'm being 100% honest, but I absolutely see the effects of curvature. In this first 50 miles, I can't tell you the difference between these 2 things. These 2. They look identical to me, except these ships, the effect of that curvature, these are all on the ocean. the effect of the curvature over the 5 miles is incredibly apparent. Incredibly so. Even though here I can't tell a difference between these two.
Which one's at 5 miles?
That one, the third one.
I don't know why, but the screen's flickering every like 2 seconds, and it's hard for me to. Is anybody else getting that?
So these two. So these two, the third ship away from us and the right. But what's interesting here
It's
as well.
Flickering, I can't see.
Watch on YouTube.
Okay, so you got 4 boats. You have one on the left, and then it subsequently goes out to the right, from our vantage point at least. Which one's at 5 miles?
The third one in each view. So we've got flat Earth, and we've got curvy Earth.
Okay. How big is the boat?
It's I forget. It's a tanker. It's one of these. It is to scale, but I forget the size of it. Wait a minute, give me a sec.
Can you give me like a approximate?
It's whatever
like 50
size.
feet,
Yeah.
100 feet?
Oh God, no! It's one of these. It's a tanker, oil tanker. So what we're looking at, 200 in between 200 300 meters. Massive.
Oh, okay. What is that? 600 feet or something?
I don't know.
Or how many meters are in a foot? That could be 600
wait a minute.
feet. What am I saying? That's crazy. That's way too big.
But anyway, it's a big boat.
There's no way. That's 984 feet.
Well, it's a big boat. I can measure it, but I can't be asked. Oh, actually, I've got a measuring tool.
656 feet tall.
Wait a
There's no
minute.
way.
Wait a minute.
Half the boat wouldn't be missing from 5 miles.
200 meters. 200 meters.
200 meters. That's 650 feet.
Yeah.
And half the boat's missing at 5 miles?
Yes, that. We are incredibly low to the ocean here. We're like 1.5 meters off the ocean. The observer.
Well, what is your height then? Because that seems way off.
You don't give a. I mean, this boat could be 50,000 miles long. You only care about the vertical height, Chris, and the.
Yeah, you're saying the boat's 200 meters, and the boat.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It doesn't matter whether this boat is 500 miles long. You care about the closest point and the highest point, and that is it. You are thinking about this all wrong.
How tall the boat is.
Oh, you didn't. You asked me how big. You said how big. Oh, tall. I've got no idea. I'll tell you in 2 seconds. Yeah, he said how big, and it's 200 meters long.
Okay.
Yeah,
how tall?
Yeah. Give me 2 seconds. So it is. It's about 30 meters.
30. Okay, so that's 98 feet. Okay. I was just curious.
Oh, yeah, fine. But anyway, so these boats are going to move apart. And I want to show you something because I found this interesting. In a model, we can do things that we can't do in real life. And what I did is I stuck 5 kilometer high glowing mast to these things, which is cool because they are easily identifiable with these parallel lines now. Now, if we look in this top left view, I'm going to move them apart, and we zoom the camera in as well. And they're moving apart, following the ocean, and then it starts going around the curve, because obviously this is on the curved ocean, and it goes down. Brilliant. Now, it's out of sight. Now, the angle difference between these, if we look at this, I can't tell that these still aren't parallel. And the difference between them in degrees is like 0.2 degrees or something. So I can't discern 0.2 degrees difference, but I can see the effect of that curvature based on the depth transition that occurred of it moving down in my vision. So I see the effects of curvature. And this matches predictions perfectly as well, just like the globe. Do you want to try?
You said something interesting to me earlier. You said you can't see the ocean curving, but you see the effects of it.
Yes,
that's interesting to me because you're then applying a massive assumption that it's something called Earth curve. I see both see refraction and I see the effects of refraction. So I actually have a one up on you that I know that for a fact, refraction can cause a similar effect, and I know it's real in there. You don't even know that your curve is there, but you're using it as evidence.
Well, preponderance of evidence, not just one thing. The thing that flat earthers do is they isolate a single example and concentrate on it. Now, that by itself, given the absence of every other piece of information that we have,
That sounds like
every other
scientific consensus to me. I don't know. That sounds like scientific consensus says Earth is round, therefore it is.
So scientific
preponderance of evidence.
So scientific consensus is good for me to the point where I can apply reasonable skepticism and trust. So it doesn't matter that 500,000 people think X. If all of those are experts in the field, and I have a fair understanding to be able to judge that this is true. So yes, I go with the preponderance of evidence, unfortunately. But anyway, there was one question I want to ask you about the black swan. Well, first of all, the refraction argument. Which way does light bend when passing through denser medium, which it would do as it's going further along? Is it up or down?
I don't remember.
So, well, does it bend towards the denser medium or bend away from the denser medium? Bend towards. Yeah, bend towards. So light actually travels down. So that means the vision, the resulting vision that we get apparently moves things up to where they should be, if that was the case, correct?
I guess in theory.
Well, not in theory. If light is bent down, you see it higher than where it should be because the angle of incidence to your eye has changed. Correct.
Right, in theory, I'm saying real world.
I'm using glasses. We use telescopes and optics. This is how the damn thing works. End of. If you want to disprove all of that, that's fine. But let's just say
you're just going to say, oh, the denser medium is always at the bottom, therefore light always bends towards the denser, therefore it's always going to lift stuff up, therefore blah blah blah. I'm saying that is absolutely 100% not the case.
No, you're seeing apparently that isn't the case given your hypothesis, but that should tell you something about your hypothesis, right?
No, we know for a fact of all the examples we've seen from Travis and from Red Pill and all these people, and Jose, that you're going to get a mixture of things. Some things are moving up, some things are moving down, some things are magnifying, some things are compressing. It is insane the kind of effects you can get from refraction.
There are some insane things, but anyway, I'll end with this because I've taken up enough of the time. I'll end with this. The black swan's interesting, and flat earthers bring it up all the time. But the one thing they don't claim on the black swan is things get hidden from the bottom up due to distance. I'm wondering, can you answer why that is in the black swan alone and not everything else?
Maybe I'm not following. You're saying they do say that, or don't say that?
So flat Earth, all flat earthers have to as well say things disappear from the bottom up with distance over a flat surface. That's great. Why can I see the bottom, if you say I can, of those rigs in the black swan if things disappear from the bottom up? Did it just choose not to give a shit that day?
There's just too many variables to
Isn't
probably
there
make
just?
that claim.
All right, cheers, Chris.
Thank you very much. That was a great presentation.
So I have a question for Chris. If the Earth is not spherical, then why is the Earth's radius in all the calculations and corrections in almanacs for celestial navigation?
Repeat the question. I think you cut out, or maybe Adam.
So if the Earth is flat, then why do all the almanacs and correction calculations for celestial navigation use a radius value?
I don't know. I don't know that they do or don't.
Okay, fair enough.
You would have to present some sort of evidence or citation to that,
Okay, for example, are you familiar with dip correction or sextant?
Well, yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Okay. Do you know that dip correction uses the radius of the Earth to reach that to determine the angle?
You're saying in the formula?
Yes, it can be expressed where you use the radius of the Earth to get the correction.
What's your formula that you're basing this off of?
100 times the square root of 2 times the observer's height in meters divided by the radius of the Earth in kilometers.
Where are you getting that from, though, I'm saying?
What do you mean, where am I getting that
What's
from?
your citation of that? You didn't just make that up, right? Where did it come from?
That is one of the 2 ways that dip correction calculation can be expressed.
What's the other way?
The other way is 1.7, I think, 7 or 7.6 times the square root of the observer's height in meters. Or if you do it in feet, it's 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in meters.
That's not the equation I saw earlier. I saw, what was it, 0.97 times the square root of the height in feet?
The first number in the equation depends on what unit of measurement is being used.
Oh, okay, so we're talking feet. I don't know what the 0.97
So
is.
feet or meters or yards, it all varies. That first number will vary. So for example, the one that Quantum Eraser likes to quote often is the 1.22.
Right.
That is the imperial measurement calculation for dip correction. The very same calculation that he says
That's dip correction? That formula is just the formula to distance to the horizon.
No, that's a different equation.
Right, the one you said Quantum Eraser uses.
The one that Quantum Eraser uses is for dip correction.
You're talking about like when they're talking about the black swan?
Yes.
No, they're talking about the distance to the horizon.
And he's citing the wrong equation for it.
Okay.
Dip correction when you account for refraction is 1.22459 times the square root of the observer's height in feet.
To where?
To the horizon.
How far's the horizon?
That in nautical miles is 2.08 times the square root of the height in meters.
Don't talk meters, we talk feet here.
We can deal with meters.
You haven't got
Really?
Really?
100 times the square root times 2x times the height in meters divided by the radius of Earth in kilometers will get you the exact same number, exact same result as 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet.
Where do you get your radius from?
If the radius doesn't work, the equation wouldn't give you the same result.
Where do you get the radius from?
Where'd you get your 1.2?
That's irrelevant at this point.
Oh, so you just drag it out your ass and spew a load of fucking nonsense.
Oh, I think it's already determined.
No, it isn't.
Okay, is the floor open, or are we supposed to be quiet and watch these guys go out?
Been debunked several times now. There
Okay,
is no arm measurement. There is no curvature.
All right. Then if that's the case,
Get over it.
If that's the case, if that is the case, then every nautical almanac is wrong, and the entire flat Earth argument of navigators using the sextant and the nautical almanacs on flat Earth is also wrong.
A
Because you can't
uses triangulation, which must have 3 flat sides, not a curved adjacent. You cannot have a triangle with 1 curved side. It is not a fucking triangle.
The nautical almanac correction tables are based off the radius value of Earth. So if
Where
there
did
is
they
no
get
radius
their
value,
radius value from? They dragged it out of their ass.
Excuse me.
It is complete and utter fucking nonsense.
Let's do the talk and let talk, Brian Mabbit. You first, and then him, and then you, and then him.
The debate is over. There is no fucking curvature. Water on a slope or a curve will flow. We all know this. We've got rivers that drop 2 meters in 1,000 miles. A fraction, a 1,000th of a degree slope. Water will flow. Not your fucking ridiculous 8 inches a mile. It is fucking lunacy.
Okay, so I posted something in chat. I want you to take a look at that, and I want you to prove it wrong.
I don't care what you're saying. We know the physics of water. Water on a slope or a curve will flow. And it doesn't.
Oh, so you're essentially saying,
so thinking, you have been lied to the same as the rest of us.
So what you're saying is that every single one of us that have used a sextant to determine our location and use the nautical almanac, we're all liars. All celestial navigators are liars. Is that what you're saying?
No, you are doing your sextant over a level, flat plane, not a fucking curved surface. You've got to get
I'm using a sextant.
head.
So I'm using a sextant over a level flat. I'm using a sextant over a level flat plane, and my calculations and corrections include the radius value for Earth. If there is no radius, if the radius is a lie, then every single nautical almanac is wrong and cannot be used for celestial navigation. Now you need to prove that celestial navigation is done without the nautical almanac.
If you have used a sextant, you know exactly how they work. Trilateration with 3 triangles. Triangles have to have 3 flat, level sides, not a fucking curved side.
Don't let him get away with that.
Now, you've got to work this into your thinking just dismiss everything what you've been told, because it is complete and utter nonsense.
But I know that you do that. You take that approach of forget everything they say and you try to make something new and different. But you have to listen to what he has to say, Brian, because you're not just going to ignore the points that he's presenting to you this morning.
He's used the sextant himself. He knows how to use it. It uses trilateration with 3 triangles. You cannot have a triangle with a curved adjacent. It is lunacy.
Let him answer that. I want to hear him answer that question.
You can.
Answer that question, Loki Fish.
So, I've used a sextant. Yes. I've also calibrated and collimated sextants. Every time I use a sextant, I use the radius value of Earth in my calculations and corrections. If the Earth is flat, then I would never, ever be able to get an accurate location fix. Ever. Wouldn't be able to plot a course either.
How accurate is a sextant?
If Earth was curved, you would never get any sort of fucking reading. Ever.
Why?
Because your GP would not be where you assume it to be, would it? Because on your ludicrous assumption we live on a ball, your vertical is always leaning away from you.
The GP doesn't determine the angle that you make.
And your Sextant has that vertical as a perfectly vertical to your position as well. It
The
is
GP does not tell you what angle you get, Brian.
absolute lunacy to believe that nonsense. And do not listen to Dumfries, or whatever his fucking name is. He's paid shill to keep us in this deception, because that's all it is. We are all lied to and keep
All right,
us in.
so you can talk about what I say then, not specifically what your opinion is of me. If you want to go ahead and just allow me to say what I have to say about sextants and see if everybody else in this room agrees, because, you know, there's people here that's actually used them. Let's go ahead with that. A sextant only measures an angle between two lines of sight, a standard marine sextant. That's it. That's all it ever does. It's just one angle between two lines of sight that don't necessarily need to be straight because refraction exists and the almanac corrects for it.
What is the adjacent then?
There is not
There's
one.
no adjacent. It's two lines of sight, Brian.
That tells you what? You've got one fucking line. What does that tell you?
It tells you the
It's not
angular
one line,
separation
it's
between
two lines of
points,
sight.
Brian.
Where's the other one to?
One's to the object, one's to the horizon, or whatever reference you want to use.
Let's give a chance to Blue
A
to
flat
try to. Let's give a chance.
Line.
Let's give a chance to Blue because he's been sitting here for a long time and he just spoke. So let's give Blue a chance.
Brian, a sextant measures the angular separation between two visible points. That's what it does. It doesn't have anything to do with lines. You can think of it as lines of sight if you want to. It's really measuring the angular separation between any two points that you can see. One of those points can be a celestial object. Another point can be a point on the horizon somewhere. That's fine. That's all it does. It measures that angle. You can't see the GP of the celestial object.
And
if you can, you are way too close to it to be able to use it.
That baseline
Trilateration involves knowing how far you are away from two or more G's.
The baseline, Blue, has to be a flat, level line to get an angle. You cannot get an angle from a line
Absolutely not.
away from you, because at what point do you measure the angle?
You measure the angle between any two visible points, Brian. That could be two celestial objects, two objects up in the sky.
Which have to be straight lines, correct?
Brian, you need
Blue,
to
you've got to
think
get over
about
this,
what
mate.
you're saying.
This is a
Making a fool of
worldwide
yourself.
deception, and you
Making
are
a
part
fool of
of it.
yourself.
You are
You're
keeping us in this deception. It's a lie.
A sextant is measuring the angular separation between 2 points, two visible points.
It trilaterates with three triangles. With
Do you know
all
what trilateration means, Brian?
Yes, I do.
Explain
I've
it.
looked into
Go.
this,
Go for it.
and they
Go.
are all straight-sided triangles, no curvature.
You have never used a sextant in your life, have you? You have no idea how
No,
to do
I
it,
haven't
do you?
used the sex. I never said I have.
Good.
But
You absolutely need to shut up and listen to people who have used them before,
But
Brian.
I'm sure I could read up on how to use a fucking jackhammer.
Well, maybe you ought to read up on how to use a fucking sextant because you have no idea what it's doing or how it's doing.
You trilaterate, which gives you 3 points with 3 triangles to your position. So it doesn't tell you anything other than where you are.
Trilateration does not use triangles in order to do the distances.
Sorry?
Trilateration does not require triangles in order to do the distances, Brian.
Hold on, let me just Google that. So I did it
Does
last
not,
night.
Brian. Trilateration does not require any straight lines, doesn't require any triangles. It is only telling you, all you need to know is your distance away from 3 points.
Well, if Brian wants to argue, perfect straight lines and everything, I posted in chat a PDF that shows what the almanac says, assuming a globe, versus a geometrically perfect refractive correction. Now, for 10 degrees above the horizon, the nautical almanac would put your GP off by about 1,700 nautical miles if you still have the geometry match.
Overlapping triangles.
Now, so far, I've challenged Mitchell from Australia, Quantum Eraser, and a number of other major flat earthers on this sextant issue, and even offered them my sextant so that they can go out and plot a fix and plot a course and have it match without using any radius-based, R-based maths from the Nautical Almanac and prove their location. Every single one of them has run away.
They're going to. How badly they'll fail if they try.
Oh, I know they'll fail because other than the PDF that I posted in chat here, there is no correction for flat Earth that'll work while using a sextant.
Oh, of course not. Lots of celestial objects are simply giving you a line of position. The first one you get is a circle because that's all, you know, that's what you could be anywhere on that circle. But that is a line, that circle is a line of position. You add the second one, now you've got two intersections. When you add the third one, you've got a single intersection.
There's your fix.
Like what Moyo.
And about the only time that you can use a single LOP to get a fix is during a meridian transit.
Yeah.
There was a mention about triangles on the surface of the Earth. Not necessarily with sextant, but a triangle of the surface of the Earth is not necessarily like these straight lines, because they're gonna have a curvature to them, you know, just being on the surface of the Earth. Brian don't like that, but it's true.
And this whole nonsense of you can't measure an angle to a curved surface is absolutely abhorrent. I mean, everybody's seen a pair of eyeglasses before. And of course, they know that light comes in at angles to that curved surface to redirect light. For these guys to say that light can't, or they can't have an angle to a curved surface is absolute nonsense.
On top of that, they tend to ignore the fact that, well, if the Earth has an atmosphere, you're never going to get a straight line no matter what you do.
Well, the ridiculous part about it is it's been defined and it's been that way for thousands of years, for God's sakes. The angle between the intersection of two circles is simply the angle between the tangents to those curves at the point of intersection. That is a definition.
I want to give a shout out to Lucky Fish Mars. Good to hear you, man. Your microphone is crisp always. I mean, you're a shield guy, right? I mean, like kind of the shield screw. I saw that you did a stream on your channel the other day. You took everybody from the shields and stream on your channel. Good on you, man.
Thank you. Yeah, that also did the live stream where I took apart a toy sextant and showed how it could be calibrated to become a functional sextant for folks that were interested.
Right. Very cool. I want to give a quick shout out to I've seen this name so many times, but you got to tell me, was it you on Chatbox who hit me up with $5 on PayPal? Thank you very much. But there's a comment on this $5 PayPal hit. It says, Brian has suddenly gone awfully quiet at the prospect of having to back up his FE sextant claim. And yeah, I just saw that comment on YouTube chat box. So hold on. I gotta give a real proper shout out. Damn it. Type something. Tell me something. It was you. Big shout out to you. Thank you very much for hitting me up with the $5. Yeah, Brian went quiet.
I did, because the missus just gave me a bollocking for waking her up.
Well, doing less yelling and less repeating yourself.
What you've shown there is the circular base of a triangle.
A
flat,
circular base of a triangle.
level.
What?
It is flat and level.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. That is
No,
the base, the adjacent, and the vertical is in the center.
Oh, God.
You are looking down upon them.
Keep backpedaling.
They are flat, circular bases of a cone,
Brian.
if you like.
They're not.
Which is a triangle.
That's what I kept telling
no
them.
Curvature to a triangle.
No, Brian. You're saying that black line is a baseline of a triangle, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's what it is.
And you couldn't be further from correct.
What is it then?
It's absolutely not that.
What is it?
That's your line of position. That's how far you are from the. That's how far you are from the GP, Brian.
That is
that line. You can't. That line is invisible to you.
That is the GP point to your position in the center where the three cross over.
Right. In order to have a GP that's usable to you, there's no way you can see it. It is impossible to see. You don't see the GP on the surface of the Earth. Take a sextant reading.
It's over. And it don't matter how.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, it's over, all right.
You
It's
keep going on about it.
Find your distance from the GP from the sextant readings you take.
We do not live on
based on your assumed position, based on your assumed position, and the GP of a celestial object at the time you take the shot. That will give you an angular difference, which you can then convert to nautical miles.
It's over, Blue.
If it was close enough that you could see it, you would have to be virtually right under it.
It is
It would be essentially at your zenith. It would be of no use to you whatsoever.
Blue, it is over.
Yeah, it is.
We do not live on what we've been told.
Well, we live on exactly what I'm telling you.
No, we don't.
And if you don't have R, you can borrow mine. I know what it is. I've measured it. You can use my R.
100% it proves we live on some sort of flat plane.
No, we don't. You need
What
to go
the size is, what the
some
dimensions
time and
are,
learn how to do
we
celestial
do not
navigation.
know.
Brian.
But what we do know by the process of elimination is there is no spin and there is no curvature.
Brian, you're not going to go about disproving. Yeah, but Brian, you're not going to go about disproving measurements that have been taken by simply taking sextant information that you gained from other flat earthers. What you need to do is actually go read the source materials, the actual sextant manuals, not the other flat earthers telling you how sextants work.
You've put it up, or somebody's put it up. These are the adjacent from your position out to the GP of whatever you are sighting, which the GP is vertical to that position. And then you draw a triangulation with that.
I got a quick question for you, Brian. Blue, I just got a quick question for Brian. These images that they keep posting about trilateration is three circles and they like overlap to each other. Why are you going on with three triangles when it's three circles?
The circle is, look at it as a cone.
Cone lateration.
But you were mentioning triangles earlier and it's circles.
Listen to what I'm saying. Think of those three circles as a cone. The center point being the GP of whatever you have sighted on a flat plane. Where them three circles intersect is your position, roughly.
So,
it's not a curve.
Well, it's three spheres.
on a curve?
Like I'm gonna post an image. Please tell me if this is kind of. I mean, this is different with satellites, but this is for trilateration, right? I mean, it's the same concept with three. Let's suppose that this is three-dimensional spheres, you know, overlapping, and then the other point.
Damn, I was onto something. I was about to make a trolley comment that these are spheres, but wow, I was actually onto something.
They are. That's exactly how it works. It's the intersection of spherical radiation from the GPS satellite signal.
Exactly, and it's the same concept, trilateration. You know, you just have to visualize it as three-dimensional. You have to have that extra perception to visualize it this way. You know, I mean, it's hard to draw these three circles as spheres, but you have to then put a little bit of mind into it and complete the dots. You know.
That's why you need 4 satellites when you're trilaterating off of the GPS, because you end up with 2 distinct points. Although you could guesstimate from your last position that you're at one or the other.
But how about we take Jose's picture of those 3D spheres, and then we imagine a 4D triangle into it. So there's triangles, 3 triangles in 4D.
What's the 4th dimension?
Well, you will need it to have your triangles, sir.
It's the magical physics that's necessary to invent to make flat Earth possible.
Width, depth, and height, and what else?
Dumbness.
Some bullshit you have to make up to make flat Earth work. Call it whatever you want.
4th dimension. Width,
Call
depth,
it whoosy whatsy, and whoosy whatsy. It's a magical hand wave to make flat Earth make sense.
A whoosy whatsy.
Yeah, we can make up anything in this fantasy.
A whoosy whatsy.
Yeah, that's what's necessary to make flat Earth make any sense. But you know, we're just talking fairy tales now.
So now you're confident, Maverick.
It's done at a slight angle instead of an overview.
Brian, now that you know that trilateration doesn't use triangles, are we good now?
Yeah, trilateration is not triangulation, right?
That's why they're different names.
No, trilateration is the use of 3 or more triangles.
That look like spheres.
Triangulation. Trilateration is different, Brian.
No, it is the use of 3 triangles or more to pinpoint your position.
Did you post your source for that?
Position, but they have to be triangles to do this.
I haven't seen. Brian. Could you show us your source?
I thought I just posted it once.
Oh, let's see. Hold on.
He posted, there was a definition, and he circled the word triangles. And he was talking about the surface, triangles on the surface of the Earth. We know triangles on the surface of the Earth are going to have curvature to them because of, you know, the Earth is level, Brian. Because of the levelness of the Earth. You love that, eh? And Earth is a sphere because we know the Earth is level, therefore Earth is a sphere. How about that?
Hopefully before we leave this whatever fucking realm it is.
Hey, let me read this comment for you, Brian. Kind of a question from Professor Phil Bell.
Oh, not Philip.
How come flat Earth expert navigators don't know the extent of Earth? What map do they use? Are their Sextant manuals and certification courses wrong? How about that, Brian? What map do we use? Because we don't know the extents of Earth. And are all the manuals and courses wrong about sextants? Answer 1 or the 3 questions, Brian. Or answer none. If you don't answer them, it's an easy cop-out. It means that you are afraid to answer that, Brian.
What? Oh, you're asking me. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
You're just making a statement.
No, I'm asking you. It's like 3 questions in one comment. How come expert navigators, non-glober navigators, non-baller navigators don't know the extent of the Earth? They don't know the extent, how far it goes. What map do they use? And are all the Sextant manuals and certifications courses wrong?
I don't confess to have any idea the shape of what we are living on, other than it is provably, scientifically provably, not curving and non-rotating. Other than that, you can come up with any fucking map you like. I don't believe any of what they tell us is true.
But don't we need a working map to navigate? I mean, we can't just say, wing it. We should actually be able to use that map to identify where we are, right? Using trilateration.
We know they've got, is it Greenland? 14 times bigger than it actually is on all and every map.
Not on my globe.
Just to try and make things fucking fit.
Not on my globe. My globe matches it exactly.
Yes, on your globe.
Yeah, my little globe in my room. I can take a dental floss and I can measure between. I can measure between continents on my globe with a piece of dental floss, and I can find out the distance from I don't know, New York to England, and I can measure from Australia to California, and I'll get actually numbers that are very close to in keeping with reality.
Yeah, I'm sure they've rigged it to come up with the figures that they've fucking filled your head full of. That doesn't mean it's factual. You've never personally measured it, and nor will you ever be able to.
So I couldn't go and measure the distance from Australia to the U.S., knowing that the speed of my ship is 24 knots. And
are you going with the tide, against the tide, with the wind?
I'll give you a 3 mile an hour tide.
How do you know how far you've travelled?
I can tell within a good fraction. I mean, let's see, 24 miles an hour. 24 miles an hour, a 3 knot tide. What damage is that going to throw me off?
You're going with the tide.
Right.
Brian, you're telling Mojo he cannot do something that he's done.
No, he hasn't. He has not done at all. It's physically impossible.
Brian assumes because he's never done anything that nobody else has either.
Statement to make. When you're on something that is fucking moving, how do you measure how far you've travelled?
Figure out how fast it's moving too, and you can do that.
Against what?
How fast you're moving by looking at the stars.
I thought the stars all fucking move.
Do they give us accurate coordinates?
It's ridiculous.
Do they give us accurate coordinates?
They have somehow, and I do not know how they've done it, they have taken away your common sense.
So when it said, when I look at it and I see that I traveled 1 degree, when I travel 1 degree, is it not 69 miles?
Fucking nonsense, and told you you're fucking educated, and all they've done is filled your head full of fucking Harry Potter stories. That's all.
Brian, please stop. If I hop in my boat and I travel 69 miles, will I not move 1 degree with reference to the stars?
How do you know you've gone 69 miles?
I'm doing it on land.
You said you were going to get in a boat.
I changed my mind. Everywhere I measure, I see 69 miles.
Hold on, let me turn it up. You're quiet. I had to turn my volume down because it woke the missus up. Say again.
I can walk I can go on land and I can measure anywhere I measure, and I'll see that it's 69 miles per degree. Now, please tell me why it changes suddenly over water that it wouldn't be 69 miles.
What degree are we measuring?
Good point.
The Sextant angles to the stars.
Yeah, change of the position of the celestial sphere.
Are you saying a vertical drop of 69 miles?
Vertical drop? Never said that. I said I would travel 69 miles across the land. My odometer on my car says I've traveled 69 miles. I could take another bearing at the North Star, and I say, oh, look at that. It moved a degree. And then I drive another 69 miles, and I look at the North Star, and I say, oh, shit, look at that. I moved another degree. Every time I move 69 miles, I move 1 degree.
To the North Star?
That's, and according to the almanac, to all the other positions that I look at, to all the other stars, the sun, the moon.
That increase the further you go towards the equator?
Minuscule. Not in the level that I'd be able to see.
And decrease the closer you get to the North Pole.
There's not much difference between 69.0 and 69.1 and 69.15, Brian.
1 degree at the North Pole
is 69 miles.
Is 69 miles?
Yep.
Are you sure about this?
Plus or minus a tenth of a degree.
Right on the North Pole, if we want to move 1 degree, we've got to walk 69 miles.
That's a fact.
How fucking ludicrous is that?
And now I've tested this between New York and North Carolina. I actually took a trip and I measured Polaris in North Carolina, and then I measured it up in New York, and I got the approximately 390-mile difference. Worked out perfect.
So the further you go away to the equator and you look at the North Star, are you telling me 1 degree is still 69 miles?
Yes, that's why we know it's a globe.
Yep.
And the closer you get to the North Pole, where the circumference around the North Pole could only be a matter of, say, 10 miles, you're telling me you've got to do 69 miles to do 1 degree? Are you fucking retarded?
It's to and from the GP, Brian. To and from the GP is always 69 miles per degree.
I think Brian's on about just standing there and doing a spin.
This is a well-known fact, Brian.
I'm talking
well-known fact.
Moving 69 miles. Let's
Toward
just
the GP.
put ourselves in a position 5 miles away from the actual North Pole, so that the star is directly virtually above us. I've got to walk 69 miles before I move 1 degree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Brian.
Yes.
Direction to and from the GP. You got to remember, it's not a lateral movement. It's not east to west. It's, in the case of the North Star, it's north and south. It's not east and west, Brian.
So that's
on a meridian.
what you're measuring then at 69 degrees.
No.
What?
69 degrees.
I don't understand what you're measuring. A vertical or a horizontal angle?
What?
Clearly, you've never worked this out.
What are you? Just tell me what you're measuring. Is it a vertical angle or a
Polaris, Brian.
angle?
Okay, let's help you out, Brian. If I
altitude
look
of
up at
Polaris.
Polaris will be at 90 degrees when I'm at the North Pole. Now I walk 69 miles in any one direction, and it will be 89 degrees.
89 degrees.
And if I go another mile, it'll be 88, and another mile, 87, and keep on repeating that over and over again for approximately 12,000 miles until it reaches the horizon.
So a vertical angle is what you're saying to the North Star.
Yes, the thing that we measure with Sextant.
Do, Brian.
That's what we've been talking about, Brian. You haven't figured this out yet, Brian?
But that would
Measuring
be
the angle, the altitude of the star.
Hold on a fucking minute. That would be exactly the same on a flat plane.
Really?
No, it is not.
No, it
Yes,
wouldn't.
it would.
No, you need to watch the video I made, Brian.
You are walking
Last
away
video,
from
last
the star.
videos ago. I went through
There we
all
go.
of that.
Whether
Not-
the,
not a
Ridiculously
linear-
off.
It's not a linear
whether
function.
fucking curved or flat,
On a
You
flat
it's not.
plane,
still
Brian.
do 69 miles and still be at 1
On a
degree.
flat plane,
Not the
Brian, it
same,
would
Brian.
only be right at 45 degrees. It's the only place.
The very first
This
degree would
shows
be something
how-
like with a 3,000-mile Polaris. The very first distance mark I would make at 69 miles would be 7 degrees.
I'm just saying, the last 2 minutes I've been listening to Brian, and Brian is 100% correct in everything he says. Brian, I'm with you.
There you go.
Top line.
Thank you. Thank you, Jose.
Look at this. I'm gonna post something in the chat that I made a long time ago.
Earth is life. Think about this. Let this simmer in your brain while you post that. Water does not curve.
Yeah, only it does. Only okay. So if Polaris was about 4,000 miles above the Earth, like Gary says, at the equator, Polaris would be 32 degrees above the horizon.
That's the problem.
Yeah, there's no distance from the North Pole on a flat plane that you would have Polaris at 0 degrees above the horizon.
Oh, it can't
Just
be.
makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense, Brian.
You do understand.
Well, you could get it close. You could get it close to the horizon, but you'd have to totally rewrite how refraction works and have it only apply to celestial objects.
Now, do this graph with a curved surface, because as I understand it,
you can do it, Brian.
Those lines would get further and further apart.
No, they wouldn't. They'd all be parallel with each other because the light from Polaris comes in parallel.
Let me download it and have a play with it. Go on.
He's probably assuming that Polaris is still 3,000 miles up above a sphere. That's where his confusion is.
That's the
I don't know
classic
if
mistake they all make.
I don't know if you could picture what it would look like if it was a really, really, really long distance away.
Even if it was 3,000 miles, well, let's see. That's one Earth radius. Yeah, it would give some weird results.
Yeah, it
Wouldn't
won't
get the
work at
results.
all.
Remember, Gleam tried to use this argument a long time ago, and now
I remember that.
And now Gary's trying to use it too. He's trying to rekindle it.
Can I speak?
If Polaris was actually just 4,000 up, you would lose sight of Polaris a long time before you ever got to the equator. A long time.
Go ahead, Gary. You just got to say something. Tell us how we're wrong.
Well, you are wrong, but your field of view would limit you long before that. Even just if you have no obstructions like buildings or trees or anything, and you had a big long stretch of flat. You ever notice like the clouds all are at ground level, but about 50 miles away on each side of you?
We never saw that before.
Okay, so, and you expect Polaris to be seen.
We know Polaris can be seen from the equator.
You're never going to reach that. You're never even going to come close to that 0 degrees. You're too close to the ground.
Got pictures of it from the equator.
Yeah, I know. You're not going to see. You're not going to see it much past the equator, if you see it past the equator at all, and you might not even see it even shortly before, depending on your topography.
Sure.
That's true, because it is 0.7 degrees from the celestial pole.
I'm just saying you're never going to see it because you're never going to see where that even 1 degree reaches the sky, because that sky has collapsed into the horizon, into the vanishing zone long before then.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't even see the clouds. You can't even see the clouds that have 70 miles past you.
On a flat
Right,
Earth,
they're
that would
touching the
be
ground.
more than 26 degrees up from, or less than 26 degrees from the horizon.
Yeah. So
Gary,
that's a lot of collapsing, Gary.
Hey, just another thing. Since I'm on the subject of the clouds, you ever get those days with the big fluffy clouds all around? They look like you're under a little dome, huh?
No, we all were born yesterday.
No, you look like you're under a little dome, don't you?
No.
Almost like the.
Are they following the curvature of the Earth?
Almost like the clouds have a curved base.
No, the clouds appear to slope down towards the ground level, towards your eye level, right?
Right. So if I'm just trusting my
you can
senses,
turn
they
around and
appear
the
to have a
clouds, as far as
curved
you
base,
see,
right?
the clouds in the distance will all appear to slant down towards your eye level, right? You turn around, everywhere you look, straight forward ahead. That's what they look like, right?
Okay. So if I'm just trusting my senses, it appears that the clouds have a curved base, right?
Yeah, and so is that the size of your little Earth? Because that would be
clouds
like
are
a
at a
cap,
lower altitude than the sun,
on your,
obviously.
That would be like a cap on your little Earth. You'd have a very
Yeah,
tiny Earth.
But the clouds are clearly at a lower altitude than the sun, correct?
Unless, of course,
Hold on,
you
guys. I got a
understand
quick
how
question.
perspective works.
Quick
We're
question for
talking about
Gary.
8,000
Hold
foot
on,
clouds?
boy. I got a quick question for Gary. Gary, did you get that drawing for Tommy Grumble yet? That's all I want to ask.
Tommy Gronvold knows a long time ago because I've explained it to him over and over again. I can make a video and he would just reject it, so I'm not going to do it for Tommy. Tommy will not let me debate him because Tommy is afraid of me. Tommy agreed to a series of debates on his channel, and he quit after the first one.
Or didn't he move to a new place?
Tommy,
He quit on the first one. Why? And I'll tell you why. Because his own model that he used on there proved him wrong.
No, baby.
He showed it. She showed
We'll
it
set
live.
it up soon, Gary. Hopefully, we can set it up soon over here. You and Tommy, one-on-one, and just the two of you and myself try to keep,
Anytime.
balance.
Anytime. It has to be when I'm not at work, though.
Exactly. Yeah, 1 year, I work Saturday, Sunday, or you varies different days.
And it has to be when you're able
Let me know.
My days off are very random.
All right,
They're not specific ones.
a few days, 2 or 3 days ahead on when you're going to have a day off and you'll be able to hang out in the internet. Let me send me a DM and I'll try to contact Tommy and do the same. See if we can make it happen.
He won't do it, but I will do it. Yeah, he won't do it though.
How do you know? I'll do it, Gary.
Yeah, and for that day, that if you're off and you're ready to have a one-on-one, then if Tommy cannot that day, you will still be available. So I'll holler at Vivo at Earth's Life, and we'll have a one-on-one that day with you. So we'll have fun. That's right.
Yeah, this time of day is always good for me. So maybe not for you.
So
though.
let me ask you: Will you actually be able to pay attention if I share something, and will you be able to see it? Seems like you kind of have a problem with your vision.
No, I don't have a problem with my vision at all. Let me get on the other page with this.
It seems a few times we've had discussions. I post something in the chat. You tell me that you're not going to look at the chat. You probably would want to do that if you're having a one-on-one with somebody.
Most times you're on in the morning when I'm at work. I'm just talking at little breaks I have as I'm walking back to my truck or walking to do something.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm willing to do it in the afternoon around this time.
I don't know why I can't get on the page with all the screens.
We have been gone for a long time now, but I'm going to hang out another 15, 20 minutes maybe, and then we'll do a round of final thoughts. It was nice to come back, so I stayed a little extra for the time that I missed.
So Jose, you were trying to set up a one-on-one with Gary?
Gary, yes, he wants to talk to Tommy Grumble, but I think Gary is willing to have one-on-ones with everybody if it's possible. So if you are up to it, Lucky Fish, yeah,
well, he's supposed to have a one-on-one with Professor Phil Bell, and he's been kind of avoiding that.
Have you been avoiding that, Gary?
Wow. No, I haven't. It's just that it's not convenient sometimes. I've talked to Phil many times on these shows. I'm not scared of Phil at all.
Is the time that you're trying to make it happen?
When they're convenient for me, I hate to schedule a time and then I can't do it. So I just, when it's convenient, I pop in. I've been on many shows with Phil. I've been on with Bob. I was just on with Bob this morning. None of these guys are scary. Blue's not scary. None of them are scary.
Yeah, we can do kind of a series, Gary versus everybody, but we'll take it like one at a time, maybe rounds, half an hour. It depends how much time you guys have. If you want to talk to Gary, hey, come in, line up and talk to Gary in different randoms. I know that Gary is willing to talk more about the horizon perspective and observations, but I don't think you're afraid you're gonna step out if they want to talk about a sunrise or the sunset or the rotation of the stars or anything else, right, Gary? Are you willing to talk about other topics, eclipses and shit like that? That'll be cool.
Yeah, but Gary has to agree to not cut everyone off halfway through their sentence.
That goes both ways. And by the way, my wife just got home and I have to run to the next town with her to pick up some supplies for her work for the hospital. So I got to go take a shower. Okay, nice talking to you.
Easy, bro. Yeah, nice talking to you, man. Well, come back.
But yeah, I'm willing to go against any of these guys on your show, one-on-one.
Cool. Yeah, we'll do, man. We'll do, and we'll try to set the rules like talk and let talk, minutes at a time, 2 minutes at a time. We'll try not to jump over each other. So
Well, if I'm one on one with somebody, I'm pretty reasonable, and most of them are.
Good.
I think we can talk normal tones and keep it down. Now, Blue and Bob get me a little excited, but
we'll chill.
The rest
Yeah,
of them are fine.
Yeah,
The rest of them are fine.
Is that excited in a good way?
No, like
happy to
well,
see
I
you.
wouldn't call it mad. Just yeah, maybe guys, especially like Bob, pisses me off because he's so arrogant. Okay, I gotta go.
Peace.
Otherwise, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Take care.
Yeah, big shout out to all the new people that found my channel again. Like Aussie Wally, it's good to see you back, man. And I know this is kind of good time for you guys. Maybe too late, but it's cool. Good to see you all here. And everybody, a bunch, maybe 10 people came in today with no ranges. That's how I know they are new. They either just found the channel or type something for the first time. So everybody's welcome back. If you are lurking in the background and you haven't typed anything in the chat box, do so now, because this is a new channel. And if you don't type anything, you will not get a range. A range will give you the capability of posting maybe a link, maybe sharing your channel or something else. And you don't have to be afraid to be timed out or nothing like that. So make sure to jump in and type something in the over here in the chat box.
Hey, Jose, I need to head out and make dinner for the family, but it's as usual. It's always fun to be here.
Good to have you, brother. I really appreciate it, and you're welcome anytime, man. Anytime.
Thank you. And to any flat earther that thinks they can prove a sextant works on flat Earth, I am still giving away a free sextant. So head over to my channel and contact me.
Exactly. Where can people find you? Loki Fish Mars is the channel name?
Yep.
Loki Fish, if I prove that it works on a globe, do I get a free sextant?
No.
No.
Yeah, big thank you to Loki Fish. Yeah, welcome anytime. And then your crew over there, the Shields, we have had some issues before, but anybody can come in and jump in if we are live, either the Discord or Google Meets is open. I throw the link for everybody else. Everybody's welcome. If you want to, if there are non-Glovers over here and you guys want to have fun, just jump in and find a window to talk. This is kind of a free for all, so boom. I appreciate you coming in, man. Everybody's welcome.
Thank you
Ask me about my image then.
Before I ask you about your image, Brian, I want to say hello, Dross, you're new. Welcome to the channel. And I want to give a big shout out to Biggest Dogus, because Biggest Dogus sent me a little sum, like 666 on PayPal, $6.66. Thanks for the good boom today, Biggest Dogus. Thank you, sir, for your support. I really appreciate that on PayPal, brother. Helps a lot. What's up?
Very simply put, yeah, your image is incorrect because the distance between that and the Earth, based on the scale that you've given, is completely wrong. Okay.
I didn't give you the scale. Somebody else done the picture, not me.
Okay, well that's why it's wrong.
Why is it wrong on a curved surface?
Because the star is not far enough away, Brian.
It does no. Forget about being accurate. It's just showing on a curved surface 1 degree. As you go further round the curve, would have to be a greater distance.
And if you make that star farther away, those differences reduce. And if that star is extremely far away, where the light is coming in essentially parallel, then that difference, Brian, then that difference is not going to be different at all. It's always going to be the same amount per angular change.
Impossible on a curved surface.
No, this
that's
is how
your
we know
opinion,
the light is parallel, Brian.
It's not parallel. It's curved surface you think you live on.
Please,
yep,
this is
light is
when
coming
light
in
from very distant objects, like a star, a point source like a star, like Polaris, very, very far away, because we can see Polaris from the North Pole and we can see it from the equator. The only
1
way that can
degree
happen on a curved surface
is
if that
1
star is
degree.
essentially an infinite distance away, Brian.
That makes it worse because
No, it
1
doesn't.
degree is
No, it
1
doesn't. It makes it work
degree.
perfectly.
And the further you put the star away, that distance would get greater, wouldn't it?
No,
That
it does not.
it
You are
would.
so you
Like the
Just on
you are
spokes
so
on a wheel
geometrically
get
challenged, Brian.
further apart.
Just on that diagram, if you put that star halfway down and then drew those lines again to those points, what you'd find is the distances between the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 would increase, not decrease. If you move the star further away, you'll find that those differences will decrease. If you put the star light years away, the light is pretty much coming to us parallel, which means there's the square root of fuck all difference.
Correct.
That's your problem. That's why I pointed out very, very politely that was the problem with the diagram, is the scale is completely foobot.
So you think
we can try a different diagram.
What is it?
We can try
434 light years away.
Okay, we can try a different diagram. We could try this one, which kind of illustrates it. If the star is really, really far away, that's what ends up happening.
What?
The one on the right.
Diagram below.
They're not pointing at the same fucking star.
Yes,
They are because the star is extremely far away.
No, they're not.
Two things, Brian, two things. The star is a long way away, and it's much bigger than the Earth.
They're not pointing in the same fucking direction.
Yes, they are,
Yes,
because
they
the
are,
star is a
Brian.
very long way away.
No.
It's a very long
You are
way
so-
away, and the star is much bigger than the Earth.
Brian, you are so geometrically challenged. The heads of those arrows meet gazillion miles away.
To an object that's way bigger than the Earth.
Fucking bunch of morons.
Welcome
Call
back,
me a moron.
Meepet69. Meepet69 found my channel again. So, guys, if you think there are some people that you missed this and like, man, where is this person that I don't see in Jose's channel? They probably were not people that watch the show in the daily basis. They don't even know. They thought I disappeared. I'm not doing shows anymore. They are unaware that my channel is gone and this is a new channel. So if you guys have places where you can throw a link to my channel around, like in the Discord server, a little tweet, a private group, Skype, whatever you got, share the show and say, hey, Jose is having the show over there. Just so you know, we get a place to go hang out and troll responsibly and swear accordingly. You can swear and say fuck and shit and all that stuff in the chat box. Try to not personal attack too much, but if you gotta throw a fuck or two, feel free to do so, because why not? Have fun, everybody. Shit. I was really hardcore before on not typing any profanities and swearing words. Now, it is what it is, Everybody does it.
Boom.
Boom,
Chris,
indeed.
a new microphone with the word boom. Not working.
Let's do a round. Let's do a round of final thoughts when I get out of here. But we're gonna do it alphabetical order, ascending mode. So instead of beginning from ABC, we go to the Z, Y, X. So we'll start with the Stingray for your final thoughts, if you are there.
I am. Can I share something really quickly?
Go
will
for
be
it.
quick. So I've just been pissing around with my. Let me know when it's sharing. You got it, Jose?
Yeah, it's up.
Okay, so besides being able to predict the exact path, caveat, give or take a fraction of a degree, of the path of the sun on any day, on any month, on any location, on this beautiful planet that we all live on, as well as the Terminator line, night and day, completely verifiable and testable, where there has never been a false reading yet, except I challenge flat earthers to find a problem with this. I decided to help with another problem that they have. I've got an observer down here, the bottom left and bottom right And what it is if we go up to the top of the planet, we also have an opposing camera at the bottom of the planet. When the planet spins, do you see what happens to the star trails? So that's the same planet with just two cameras. Both of those cameras face as north as they can, and they are at opposing ends of this beautiful planet that we are on. We see that star trails here, as predicted by a sphere, match reality. And I'm done. Cheers, everyone.
Thank you very much, the Stingray. Good times, good times. I always appreciate your graphics and the stuff you do. The Big Gambino, your final thoughts?
Nope, that's it. Nothing.
All right. Oh, you done? Oh, you say, I'm sorry, I had to run to stop the screen share. Final thoughts, Gambino.
Nothing.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, thank you for coming, man. Welcome anytime, brother. Mojok Man.
I don't have much to say, but it's good to see you back. Good show.
Thank you. Make sure to be subscribed to Jose JG. Boom. That's the new YouTube channel.
On a side note, I did before I left Gem Pandas out of frustration with Dallas Dave and stuff. I said, "Hey, Jose's having a show now."
Hey, good looking out. I appreciate it, man. I know that Tweet every once in a while when Tweet catches my show, she throw a link over there. I don't think they like it much, but hey, it is what it is. We gotta share each other, you know. Thank you, brother. We got Laurie. Laurie, you got some final thoughts for us? All right. I guess not. Now we have a name over here by Genesis. I want to hear you with your final thoughts. I don't know how much you heard of the show, but just give us a message to the audience. Well, I guess not. How about Fred? Fred, you got it.
I don't know whether this is working because it's a brand new microphone. So testing,
sounds good.
1, 2, 3. Excellent. I want to know how you can do the alphabet backwards.
I just do ZYX.
Yeah, but how do you actually do it? I mean, because I couldn't do it.
All right. We'll ask Nathan Thompson.
See you back, mate.
Nathan Thompson taught me how to do it.
Oh, God.
Foolish decisions. Final thoughts. Good to see you, Fred.
Not too bad. I think I will go, oh my goodness.
Thank you very much. Yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah. Well, what do you think, man, about the characters that we got here and the discussions?
I honestly wonder if Brian is just being obtuse to protect his point of view, or whether he's a troll who gets a laugh out of this, or whether he is as stupid as he portrays himself. And by the way, Moyak, well done for leaving Gems. I think it's a toxic place, and Kima should not have mods.
I left a little while ago. I left because I was like really hardcore disrespected by Christopher, Roman numerals or whatever. He told me to go and die in a corner or kill myself or some shit like that. I couldn't take it. Gem Panda didn't find anything wrong with it. But then I attempted to listen a month after I left, as I found it on YouTube. I said, let me see what's going on. And it was every day, Piche and John Bernard's. Those two of the nastiest persons that are there. I couldn't be there, part of that. So hey, it is what it is. If people like that rambling of Piche and John Bernard's, well, go to Jim Panda, not me, not my shit. Sorry. Genesis, are you there for a final thoughts? Give it to me.
Yes, I am. I've been following you, Jose, for several years now. You're the next best channel on the YouTube.
Appreciate it, man, and thank you for finding my new channel. Unfortunately, we lost the other one with thousands of good derp and videos, but hey, we're here. We're doing all of it again.
Yeah, really good.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. And hopefully we'll get you one day more active and try to engage in discussions with some of the characters in here. It's fun.
Could be.
Good. Welcome anytime. And you guys know, everybody know that the Discord server Daily Boom is always open. If anybody want to make a convo to talk over here to each other, just gotta tag a few people, jump in, or just type in the chat box in the Daily Boom sensor or nonsense or whatever. You know, you guys can jump in anytime and have it running as long as you want. I just transmit it live every once in a while when I do my live show on YouTube. Good. All right, let's get out of here with Earth is Live. There's a few more people. Earth is Live. Final thoughts.
Hey, what's up, Jose? Good show. I was just listening in the background. Once I get it, if I ever get a chance, I'll be able to do a one-on-one with old Gary. I'm actually in the process of making a video. You know, but yeah, good show. Welcome back.
Good show, Jose. Good show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hell yeah, nice to hear that.
Yep.
All right, we got two more. We got Gary. Gary.
Well, I noticed one of Rachel's comments scrolled by a text again after I'd already mentioned the thing about light coming in at eyeglasses at an angle, but she's still convinced that you cannot measure an angle to a curved surface, even though I fully explained it. So I guess she wasn't listening at the time. But yeah, it's this kind of ignorance that keeps Flat Earth going. The fact that the basic stuff in reality, such as eyeglasses and light coming in at angles to those curved surfaces, the stuff that debunks all of their rhetorical nonsense. It's appalling that it's so easy to debunk all that, and they just can't. But it is what it is, I suppose. Thanks for the show.
Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate it. And Big Blue, your final thoughts.
Yeah, thanks, Jose. Good show today. I enjoyed a little banter back and forth with Brian. It's always fun. I'm way beyond caring what Brian thinks or believes. It doesn't matter to me. It's just fun to see how much stupid shit you can get him to say. And that goes for pretty much all the rest of them, too. Anyway, you guys have a good one.
Thank you very much, Blue. Thank you. And the way I started the show today, Friday Festivities, because I was kind of alone over here, I played a little bit of a pre-recorded show from almost 2 years ago. So if I decide to go live and anybody join, like in the beginning of the show, I'll play some old school videos that they don't exist anymore because the channel is gone. And those after shows that I got recorded, they never been uploaded for all the audience. Just for a few of them I uploaded for the memberships that I had in my previous channel. So I'll kick off the shows maybe if anybody join in the beginning with some pre-recorded shows, and then until we start getting guesses, and we'll kick it off live. And hopefully happy like today. It was very lively, it was dynamic, and it was all kinds of fun. I mean, we hung out in here for a few long hours. It doesn't happen too often, but I really appreciate everybody. Please make sure to share the show so we will get more people watching. That way we'll get more people out of the streets and the bars and staying out of trouble, you know. We'll give a place in here so you guys can come in and hang out behind a desk, in your room, in your yard, and you avoid getting in this physicality of getting in fights and swinging fists somewhere in the road, you know. You'd rather throw your laptop or your phone to the ground instead of punching somebody in the face, you know. I like that. I appreciate giving a place for that. Thank you very much, all the audience, for hitting like. Thank you very much to all of you that were part of the show. Without you, I would have been maybe 1 hour tops. We were here, 3-4 hours? Woohoo! Good times. Good night, everybody. Be safe out there. Jose J.G. Gonzalez. Boom!